Coverage of the International Hockey League matchup between the Fort Wayne Komets and the Indianapolis Ice.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a jam-packed Memorial Coliseum. The jungle is rocking once again, and the Komets are just about to start their 1993-94 season in the International Hockey League. Of course, a lot of excitement going on here. The K's begin defense of their Turner Cup, and they'll take on their old nemesis from just down I-69, the Indianapolis Ice. I am Kent Horman, fortunate enough to be joined by the News Sentinel's Blake Sebring. Blake covers the Komet hockey beat for the paper during the course of the season, and Blake, a lot of excitement going on the ice right now. The lights are turned down, the Komets being introduced for the start of a new year, and you've had a chance to see this hockey club very closely during training camp and the preseason. How do you feel about this team?
I think they're going to be really strong. I think they built this team specifically to defend the Turner Cup. There's a lot of veterans there, a lot of guys who are proven players who are still hungry because they want to win a championship of their own.
You take a look at the situation, a lot of guys are gone who are a big part of that Turner Cup champion, starting with Pokey Reddick in goal, guys like Scott Gruel, Jean-Marc Richard. But, as you said, management has done, I think, a very good job of trying to replace these guys, plugging in a Mike O'Neill, a John Purvis, a Brian McKee. This team plans on coming out here and playing hard every night.
I think it helped that the Komets had a game plan this summer, what they wanted to do. They lost Coach Al Sims late in the season, and then they got Bruce Boudreau right away like 2 weeks afterwards, and then they knew exactly what they wanted to do and who they wanted to get, and they only went after those players.
You know, we'll develop that more as we get into the course of the game and the evening, but how about Bruce Boudreau? I mean, just a couple of years ago, he was one of the popular, chatty players in the Fort Wayne Komets and acting kind of like a kid, thought he could play the game forever, and he almost did, 20 years. But he's turned to coaching, and he's made a very good transition, and it seems like the pressure of coming from your first year of coaching in the Colonial League to here in Fort Wayne in the IHL, and the pressure of taking over a Turner Cup champion hasn't fazed Bruce a bit. He's done a real good job.
I think Bruce is going to coach the way he played, and that was all out and with lots of effort and never give up. And he's trying to instill that in these players, and he's done a pretty good job so far because there's a core of veterans back who've been able to teach the new guys what it's like to be a Komet.
As we assess opening night, this should be an interesting situation because the electricity in this crowd is just awesome right now. I know the players have been on pins and needles, and coming up in just a little bit, we'll have the ring presentations for the Turner Cup champions, the members of the team who have returned. I know opening night jitters is the way it is with every sport and every player, but it'll be interesting to see how these guys react, and especially how the Indianapolis Ice players react, because they've already played a game. They have an evening under their belt because they opened last night at Peoria, a 3-2 loss to the Rivermen. So it'll be interesting to see how this half hour plus of pre-game ceremonies will affect both teams.
Yeah, I think the Komets may try to come out and win it in the first 10 minutes of the game because they'll be flying so much. There's no way they can slow down. And Indianapolis has a young enough team this year that they may try to go out with the Komets and come right with them. So we may have a really fast-paced first half of the first period, and then the game should settle down.
You know, it's very early as we talk about things here opening night. Maybe few people remember what happened last year. We think back to May 21st, the Komets win the Turner Cup, sweeping through the playoffs 12 in a row. They started the season last year something like 2-7-1, and it was a very dubious debut, and a lot of people had some questions. Bruce said it's very, very important for this team to get off to a good start. He wants them to really be comfortable their first several games and try and play competitive hockey and come up with some victories. What have you seen about this hockey club so far that you like, that you're impressed with?
I like the veterans. The forwards remind me a lot of what the Komets had 3 years ago when the Frankies first bought the team. They were really a high-scoring team, a lot of weapons, and the guys are all working together pretty well. The one thing I got a question so far is they need to get a fast start because they play one game this week, and then next week they play 2 games, and the week after that they go on to the West Coast. So they got to get off to a good start, or they could really be in for a long haul right at the beginning of the season.
And one of the things that concerned Bruce Boudreau is the fact they only play about 5 games in the first 3 weeks. A lot of time off and a lot of inactivity, and you get tired as far as practice goes, so they want to get off to a good start. As you can see us joining the live ceremonies right now at center ice, here comes Captain Colin Chin with the Turner Cup, and it's a refurbished Turner Cup, I might add.
Several times.
You know, it's a part of hockey tradition, whether it's the Stanley Cup or the Turner Cup, that the lucky winners of the trophy get to spend the summer with it in the off-season and have themselves a good time. And stories are legend about what happens with these trophies, be it the Stanley Cup or the Turner Cup. Sometimes they end up in the bottom of players' pools. They end up left in parking lots, so they get pretty dinged up.
Well, last year at the end of the championship night, there was being held together by a piece of black tape.
Well, I know Michael and David Franke were pretty concerned about that, and they called the commissioner, and he said, oh, don't worry about it. A couple of years ago, Kansas City dropped it, and it cracked in half. So the Franke family has taken upon themselves to refurbish the Turner Cup, and there you see the prize trophy sitting at center ice.
When the Komets last won it in 72-73, that night the cup was in 3 pieces, and they forgot it at the Coliseum, and a couple guys had to go back late at night and re-grab it.
Now what you see right now at center ice, of course, is the Turner Cup, and right next to the cup are the cases containing the Komets Turner Cup championship rings, which will go to the players on this year's Komet Club who were a part of that glorious hockey team that made hockey history last spring when they cruised through the Turner Cup playoffs, beating first Cleveland, then Atlanta, and then the San Diego Gulls. Now making their way to center ice is the Franke family, CEO Stephen Franke, General Manager David Franke, and President Michael Franke. And Blake, I have to tell you, this is probably a moment that these players have waited for a long time. You get to enjoy the summer and the off-season and walk around with your head held high and your chest puffed out as being a champion, but they couldn't wait to get these rings on their fingers. That's what it's all about.
A good example was Joel Savage, who was with Anaheim, and he got cut by Anaheim, and he thought he was going to have to go to San Diego. Well, they wanted him to come here, and he wasn't so sure he wanted to come here. But then when he got here and he saw all the guys in the room, he knew he was going to get his ring in the presentation. He was really, really happy.
Public address announcer Jim Amstutz is presently announcing the names of the members of last season's championship team who are no longer with the Komet Hockey Club. Players like Bobby Laxo, who have retired, Paul Willett, who's in the Quebec organization right now. Some mixed emotions for Jean-Marc Richard from the capacity crowd. Of course, Jean-Marc was brought back to the Komet Hockey Club in that trade with San Diego that also brought Peter Hankinson back, and the Frankes were anxiously looking forward to signing JM for another season here, but he took maybe a little bigger paycheck and went with the expansion Las Vegas Thunder. So he was a big part of that hockey club and will get a ring, but the fans, I think, feel maybe a little cheated that JM didn't come back.
I think that's one reason why they went right out and got Brian McKee to sign, because they needed that offensive defenseman.
Great ovation for Igor Chibarev, who accomplished what it's all about, coming to the IHL from his native Russia, having a great year, then being drafted by the Hartford Whalers. He has since been sent to Springfield of the American Hockey League, and perhaps we will have a good reminder of Igor with this hockey club, because the fellow wearing number 29 this year, Vladimir Siplikov, is making a lot of people remember Igor Chibarev. Let's join public address announcer Jim Amstutz for the ring presentations.
Number 12, Louis Carey-Lucic.
How quickly they forget.
Number 8, Ian Boyce.
One of the more popular players in the Komets the past couple of years, Ian Boyce. Good point about Carey-Lucic. He was almost booed out of the building early in the season, but became a hero in the playoffs.
Number 2,
he's the guy that set up the pass for Scott Gruel, scored the game-winning goal in overtime of Game 3. If he doesn't make that pass, we're probably still playing that game.
Guy Dupuis, tremendously hard-working defenseman. One of the players may be considered on the bubble, but he's worked hard. He's still with the team. And here's a fellow who really turned it on during the playoffs, perhaps the best defenseman on the hockey club during the course of the Turner Cup playoffs, Grant Richardson.
Smitty was the guy who came in late in the year from Dayton and really helped fill a role player. He played his role to perfection.
Number 19, Kevin Mad Mac McDonald.
One of the lunch pail brigade, Kevin McDonald, would always lead with the chin and got the job done in front of the Komet goal whenever the opposition would get a little too comfortable there. Lee Davidson, what a tremendous job he did anchoring that Komet checking line.
I think he's going to have a big improvement this year on an offensive line.
And as you mentioned earlier, Joe Savage, Joel's happy to be back. When he thought at first maybe he'd prefer San Diego because of its closer proximity to Anaheim, but he is happy to be part of this organization. Kelly Hurd, who had an outstanding training camp and a great preseason. Big things expected from Hurdsy this year.
He switched over left wing.
And of course, there's the big guy, Steve Fletcher.
I think fans will be really impressed with Gags this year. He's really possibly the most improved player in training camp. He's been very, very steady in net.
Well, I know he's just hoping for some more playing time. I mean, you couldn't get Pokey Reddick out of the goal. So hopefully Gagnon will get a chance to come close to splitting the duty with Mike O'Neill. And also defenseman Steve Wilson, who joined the club late in the season from Dayton. He's not dressed tonight.
Derek Ray, who's now a full-time assistant coach. Last year he was part-time assistant and part-time working for Komets and Public Relations.
Ring and a Turner Cup ring. Joe Franke, the trainer.
Here comes the guy who might be as responsible for that Turner Cup as anybody, keeping these guys together, and he really knows how to get it done. He's got great experience. He's worked with the Pittsburgh Penguins, has a Stanley Cup ring from them, and Joe Franke just does a great job, not only keeping the guys healthy, but keeping the morale up. He keeps
that mentally and physically.
He keeps the locker room very loose.
Call your attention to the press box for the unfurling of a banner that's been a long time coming. The Komets Turner Cup banner.
And as you can tell, the Coliseum is pitch black right now. And there is the unfurling of the Komets' 1992-93 Turner Cup Championship, their first in 20 years.
That's Don Zetter and Ed Sink unfurling.
Previous championships by previous Fort Wayne Komet teams.
The banner having the years the Komet Hockey Clubs won either the Huber Trophy or the Turner Cup.
Early. It's time to defend that Turner Cup championship with the Fort Wayne Komets.
And there you have it. The rings have been handed out. The cup has been on the ice, but it's making its exit. And we are just moments away from the start of the Komets' 1993-94 season. We'll be back with the opening face-off after this.
If your car has a minor ding or is a major disaster, get it to Al Gratz. Al Gratz Body and Paint. For over 50 years, they've been making the wrong things right again, turning dents and disasters into automotive delights. Imports, domestics, cars, trucks, or vans. They're the ones who care enough to make it right for you. Al Gratz Body and Paint Shop on New Haven Avenue, east off US 30, or on Coldwater Road across from Glenbrook. Get to the pros. Al Gratz Body and Paint Shop.
Service isn't something that we owe you, or it isn't just the repair of a vehicle problem. It's the way that we feel you should be treated as a person and as a friend and as a customer. It's important.
It's just a thing to do and just a way to do business.
Crumbach Simon Chevrolet Geo. Come talk to us.
Hi there, I'm Paul Troxler from Utopia, Texas. All cowboys wears a cowboy hat. With the Saturn, I can get in it with my hat on, and I'm comfortable, and I still got ancient hat to play without it rubbing on top, which means a whole lot to me. I don't like for anybody to see my bald head, so I can keep my hat on, see? Come back when you can stay longer than 30 seconds.
Beer and everything you need to make it. It's fresh, it's inexpensive, and it's easy. You make it right in your own home. The largest selection of all the home brewing supplies you need at the lowest prices. The complete home beer making kit at Great Fermentations really is complete. Just add ingredients and start making beer at home for only $39.95. On sale now only at Great Fermentations.
Back at the Coliseum, where the starting lineups for tonight's game are being announced. For the Komets, it'll be Mike O'Neill in goal, Grant Richardson and Kerry Lusick on the points. Vladimir Siplikov at one wing, John Purvis at the right wing, and Captain Colin Chin will be the centerman. And for the Indianapolis Ice, starting in goal will be Christian Soucy. He made 30 saves last night in the 3-2 loss to Peoria. He's a 23-year-old pro, first year as a pro, who came out of Vermont College. On defense, it'll be Dave Hackstall and also Carl Dykhouse. The front line, Hugo Belanger, Sergei Krivokrasov, and Zach Boyer. The officials for tonight's game: referee Joe Ernst, linesman Mark Wilkins, and linesman Kevin Mallon.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now to start the season with our national anthem. Glad to have back with us this
And we'll be back with tonight's opening face-off in just a moment.
White-tailed deer in a meadow, or handy kitchen appliances, a stand of ancient maple trees, or electric power tools. Which would you choose? Well, we don't have to, but we all have to get smart. SMART is a series of energy management programs and ideas designed to save you money and energy by using all our resources more efficiently. That's SMART. Saving money and resources together. For energy-saving ideas, just call us.
See this? Hottest thing on the road. The all-new Chevy S10. Its design is sleeker, yet it's roomier. It has more power and rides smoother. In fact, S10 is redesigned for 94. Take it for a test ride. You might win a 31-inch color TV. Get the details at your Northeast Indiana Chevy dealers. Don't dawdle. The S10s will go fast. And so will the TV.
Vacations can be more fun when you rent a van from Ace Rent-A-Car, and you don't have to spend a fortune to rent one. Choose from the area's largest selection of passenger vans, minivans, and conversion vans. And Ace Rent-A-Car offers vans that seat from 5 to 15 people comfortably. Don't be uncomfortable or wear out your car when you can rent a comfortable and luxurious van from Ace Rent-A-Car, 2 blocks north of Glenbrook on Speedway Drive. Why pay more?
We're just about set to go. The Komets' 1993-94 season is set to get underway. They'll take on the Indianapolis Ice. Again, the starting lineups for the Ice: in goal, Christian Soucy; on defense, Dave Hackstall and Carl Dykhouse. And the front line, Hugo Belanger, Sergei Krivokrasov, and Zach Boyer. For the Komets in goal, Mike O'Neill. He was an all-star here a couple of years ago before he went back up into the Winnipeg organization. On defense, Grant Richardson and Kerry Lusick. And the starting front line, Colin Chin, Vladimir Siplikov, and John Purvis. And Blake, a couple of guys to look for tonight, 2 of the newcomers, Siplikov and Purvis.
I think they're going to be fun to watch. Siplikov is a big kid who's really fast, and he takes a hit, too. And Purvis has got an excellent shot. He's very crafty.
Well, and he was with the Indianapolis organization at the tail end of last season. Had a really good finish about the last dozen games or so, and the Blackhawks didn't sign him. He was a free agent, and the Komets pounced on him.
Well, the Blackhawks could not sign him because they didn't draft him. He's a Russian player. They have to draft him before they can sign him, so they had to let him go, which was really worked out well for the Komets.
Captain Colin Chin set to take the draw at center ice against Zach Boyer of the Ice. And the new hockey season is underway. Off the draw, it goes back to the point, ice controls. Dykhouse feeds it ahead, goes along the boards. Lusick goes behind his net to play it. And we're 10 seconds into the new season. And icing is called against Indianapolis.
And the Komets are probably looking to get that first hit out of the way, get the butterflies over with. And the guys on the bench just can't wait to get out there.
Well, we've only played 9 seconds. Face off to the right of Christian Soucy in the Indianapolis zone. Again, it'll be Chick, Colin Chin, and Boyer.
Boy, Soucy sure sets up outside the crease. That could be something maybe the Komets could take advantage of with a quick shot here.
He keeps those pads spread pretty far apart, too. That's quite a 5-hole he's leaving there.
new rule this year for the fans is the Komets and the ice, if the player lines up on the circle for the face-off, then the person going for the face-off for that team is kicked out and they have to start over.
Now it's Siplikov behind the goal. Center to score! John Purvis! Beautiful play by the Komets off the draw. Siplikov stole the puck behind the goal, quickly fed the pass right in the slot to John Purvis. They said this guy had great hands around the goal, and just like that, 14 seconds into the game, the Komets have drawn first blood, and it's 1-0 K's.
Okay, Siplikov gets the puck behind the net and whips it in front. And instantly, Coach Dwayne Sutter for the... Yeah, see, right in the 5-hole. And instantly, Coach Dwayne Sutter sends out 2 new defensemen. He wasn't happy with that.
Well, we talked about how far apart Soucy kept his pads, and Purvis took quick advantage. The newcomer has a goal right away, just 14 seconds into the game. Puck deep in the Komet zone. Richardson takes the hit. Ice control, but it clears and neutralized now. Here comes Purvis. Spear, though, beats him to the puck. Oh, Siplikov intercepts in the slot to Chin. His high shot over the net. Purvis in the corner, dumps it behind the goal. Now Siplikov goes behind his stick. Chin into the corner. Komets putting on some good pressure.
Komets trying to jump on the fly.
Now Kerry Lucic. Ice could be caught in the line change. Lucic carrying the puck in. Looks for a pass, but cleared to neutral ice again. Now Brian McKee dumps it back into the ice zone. Oh, it gets by Soucy behind the goal. Centered in front, there's Kelly Hurd. He slips the check. Looking for somebody in the slot right in front. Soucy tries to poke it away.
The Ice are going to get caught a lot because they only have 4 defensemen tonight. They had 5 to start the season, but one of them got a concussion last night, so they're really going to be exhausted by the middle of the third period.
Now Brian McKee behind his own goal. Looks along the boards. Indianapolis 4 checks, and there'll be a whistle along the boards. Little extracurricular. Kevin McDonald giving a push right off the bat.
Komets and Knights are kind of famous for that.
Well, it's interesting because it is a new season, and you're going to have a lot of turnover, and you do on the Komets and the Ice, but you talk to both teams. I know from the Komet camp, these teams just don't like each other. They don't care who it is. When you put on the black and orange, the black and silver, you start baring your teeth early on.
That and Komets coach Bruce Boudreau was pretty blunt about it. He always had his best games against the Ice, and he wants that to continue.
Here's a line Komet fans should really enjoy this season. Doug Wickenheiser, Kelly Hurd, and Mitch Messier. Again, a couple of newcomers again, but plenty of IHL experience. Wickenheiser last year with Peoria. Messier, after a long career with Kalamazoo, played last year with Milwaukee, and they are happy to be in Komet colors.
Both are former IHL All-Stars.
Big body check by Kelly Hurd, dumps his man. Now Wickenheiser controls in the Komet zone. Brian McKee, long cross-ice pass right on Messier's stick. Big drive, and it's a save. Soucy kicked it out. Long rebound, though. Now we have a couple of players coming together at neutral ice. Dupuis rides his man off the play.
Good forecheck.
Good pass ahead to St. Jacques. St. Jacques into the Komet zone. Slips the defenseman. Skates in. Backhander. Good save, O'Neill, and cleared to the corner. Mike O'Neill held his ground and denied Kevin St. Jacques. Now back to neutral ice. St. Jacques. He's bumped heavily off the play. Brian McKee controls in the Komet zone. Off the wing to Kelly Hurd. Hurd tries to cut in, but he's taken off the play by Riccardi. Now the Ice break back out. John Byram tries to dump it in, poked away by Richardson. Now here's Andreevsky, the big Soviet player for the Ice. He's taken off the play. Good check by Richardson. And Ian Boyce starts to rush up ice. Tries to pass ahead to Savage. Puck taken back into the Indianapolis zone. Boyce some good forechecking. Now Savage steps into his man. Davidson has the puck, and this will be the Komet scooter line this year. Jeff Riccardi sets up behind his own goal to lead the rush for Indianapolis. We're 3 minutes into the game. 1-0 Komets on a goal by John Purvis just 14 seconds after the puck was dropped. Savage gets by his man. Points with a quick shot just wide. Now into the corner. Byram goes in heavily with Boyce. Davidson steps in. They scrum along the board. Spear hands a cheap shot to Lee Davidson. Now Boyce knocked down. And here come Indianapolis, but broken up at center ice again. Brian McKee across to McDonald. Now to Brian McKee. McKee just dumps it into Indianapolis ice. And that will be an icing on the Komets. The touch is made. And there'll be a face-off in the Komet zone.
Komets are doing an excellent job of controlling the neutral ice by having the forwards set up at the red line, and the defensemen are setting up the blue line. The ice just haven't been able to get into the Komets zone so far. Another thing you can notice, too, is that the ice defense, the forwards are getting way back on defense to try to help out those 4 defensemen.
And there's a good look at Mike O'Neill. Just a couple of years ago, he was a Fort Wayne Comet, was an IHL All-Star. But at mid-season, just before the All-Star game, he was called up by Winnipeg, and he spent a little time with the Jets and then spent the rest of the year in Moncton. They allowed him to come back and play for the Komets, representing the Komets in the IHL All-Star game in Atlanta. And after another year or so in Moncton, he is back with the Fort Wayne Komets and happy to be here. I think Mike is looking for some of that magic that happened with Pokey Reddick last year. Come back to Fort Wayne, have a great season, and another chance to get to the big time.
Mike never makes anything look hard either. He always stays in position, lets the offensive player make the move first.
And there's a good kick save off the drive from the point by Dykhouse. Komets break it out. Dave Smith dumps it in. Susie plays it in the corner. Wanders way out of his net, tries to clear it. Pinched along the boards. The Komets keep it in. Now Indianapolis breaks out to center ice. Kriva Krasov, just a 19-year-old Soviet player, had a good year for the Ice last season. Just recently sent down by the Chicago Blackhawks. Steve Fletcher on the ice for his first shift of the year with the K's. Now the Ice look to dump it in. Fletcher pulls Kriva Krasov off the play, and there'll be a penalty right there. Steve Fletcher will go off 2 minutes for hooking. And Indianapolis will go to work on the power play.
That was a mismatch. Kriva Krasov has a lot more speed and ability than Steve does as a defenseman, and he just got around it. It's a good thing he got the penalty, though, because he needed to. If he didn't get the penalty, it's Kriva Krasov, who was the MVP of the All-Star game last year, in against O'Neill, and that's a mismatch, too.
Well, you talk to any coach, they don't think there's a good penalty, but that wasn't what you'd call a really lousy one, because Kriva Krasov had the Jets burning going down that wing, and Fletch really had no choice but to hook him down.
Komets look really solid so far. They don't look like they're nervous or anything.
Well, the Ice will go to work on the power play. St. Jacques facing off against College Chin just inside the K's blue line. Drawn back to neutral ice.
They've got Rob Sameta out on the power play at the point on the right side. He was an AHL All-Star last year, one of the many AHL stars that came to the IHL this season.
Now St. Jacques, top of the circle, feeds it to Dykhouse. Quick shot right on and kicked out by O'Neill. K's control, and Chin dumps it off the board. Here's Kelly Hurd busting in off the wing. He's in. Quick shot and a save. And the puck is in.
Puck is in the net, and he's pounding it.
The puck is in the goal, and it counts. There'll be a protest from the Ice. Hurd took the shot as he was being pulled down and crashed into the goalie with the puck underneath him. They all wound up in the net, and it is a goal. Let's take a look at this one again, Blake.
All right, the rule is that the goal counts. The goal counts if he did not intentionally guide it into the goal with his body. And there's no way he could have, because he was lying flat and he hadn't had his head turned. He had his butt to the goal, and his butt knocked it in. So that's why it counts. There was no way you can direct it that way.
Well, you'd like to say it was a heads-up play, but they'll take it any way they can.
Well, part of the things of what Komets want to do this year is they want to put a lot more pressure. They want to put a lot more pressure on the power play defense by taking advantage of breakouts like that. That's something they did not do much last year at all. They've already scored two shorthanded goals in their 4 exhibition games, and now 1 here.
Well, referee Joe Ernst explained it to Kevin St. Jacques, and there really isn't much of a beef, and I'll tell you, if they could see the replay, there wouldn't be, because Hurd broke in, had the speed advantage, and as he was being hooked to the ice, the shot was on goal, the save made, but everybody just carried into the net. And it's a goal for the K's, shorthanded, and the Komets lead 2-0.
Who would have thought the goalie would get an assist on the second goal of the year? An assist to O'Neill and Chin.
Indianapolis will try and regroup. They still have the power play. Belanger breaking in. O'Neill, a great save. Hugo Belanger was right on, but Mike O'Neill denied the opportunity. Again, the Ice still have a minute of power play time. Kriva Krasov now working the point. Sergei Kriva Krasov. And the Ice will try and cut into this Comet lead. They're still on the power play. 1 minute to go. Great pass across, but again a super save by O'Neill.
Mike's got really quick feet. He had to get over the far post on that.
Oh, the Komets were cutting in, but just offside. We're 14 and a half minutes left in the opening period. The Komets lead 2-0. You're watching Comet Hockey on TV 33.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Memorial Coliseum is
After
the game, shoot over to Shooters and let the good times roll. Shooters is Fort Wayne's friendliest sports bar, where the big games are on the big screen via satellite. Shake it up on Shooters dance floor and enjoy the friendly hospitality that makes Shooters the place to be. On Fridays, dive into the seafood buffet, featuring free peel and eat shrimp and crab legs. Thursday is Buck Night, with long necks and more for just $1. See you soon at Shooters, just behind Glenbrook on Fernhill.
Indianapolis rushing up the ice. They still have half a minute of power play time left. Sameta taken off the play, no call. Grant Richardson wraps it around the boards, then it gets by Spear, and will be cleared the length of the rink. Kent Horman and Blake Sebring of the News Sentinel. Glad you could join us tonight if you couldn't get a ticket for this sellout. The Komets season opener, and it's looking good so far. We're just 6 minutes into the game. They lead the Indianapolis Ice 2-0. Again, O'Neill with another big save. Now it's Riccardi with a drive. Blocker save by O'Neill. Spear keeps it in along the boards. But it's cleared the length of the rink by Kerry Lusick, and that will do it for the power play.
Power plays for Indianapolis are not all bad for the Komets, because if Indy only has 4 defensemen, those guys got to do penalty killing and power play. They're going to get awful tired tonight.
Andrzejewski breaks in, but he turns it back to center. Now the Komets again try and control. Andrzejewski, Wickenheiser steps in him. Now Messier feeds it ahead. He's got Siplikov. Siplikov breaks in. He cuts. Quick shot, and it's a save by Soucy. And it's cleared to neutral ice. Guy Dupuis back for the K's. Vladimir Siplikov again busting in. This is the lineup. Big drive by Wickenheiser right on, and the save by Soucy. And the Komets are hearing it from 8,100 strong here in the Coliseum. They like what they've seen so far.
Soucy's kind of wonder where his defense is. The last 3 shots has been nobody around to help.
Well, it seems like the ice has been tilted in the Komets' favor. Believe it or not, they've been outshot so far in the hockey game, 6-5 by the ice. But it's been all Komets so far in the first 6.5 minutes. They lead Indianapolis 2-0. John Purvis, his first goal of the season, and as a Komet, just 14 seconds into the game, that assisted by Vladimir Siplikov. And then short-handed at the 4:41 mark, Kelly Hurt scored on an assist from Colin Shin and goaltender Mike O'Neill.
We thought the Komets might try to come out and win the game in the first 10 minutes tonight because they'd have so much emotion. And they've really done a great job. They've been getting back on defense, too.
It'll be Wickenheiser. Well, he was chased out. Now it'll be Mitch Messier to take the draw against Sean Byram of the ice.
He's going to get chased out, too.
Well, this is that musical chairs you talked about, Blake, that new rule.
Right. They're going to throw the Indy guy out here now. They should.
Now Boyer's run out.
Gee, don't you just love a fast-paced hockey game?
Well, we've got some countrymen in there. Siplikov and Kriva Krasov. And into the corner they go. Looks like they'll scrum around a bit. And it's whistled down for a face-off.
Here we go again.
13:08 remains in the first period from the Coliseum. 2-0 Komets. The 1993-94 season opener for the K's as they begin the defense of their Turner Cup championship. And it's really funny, Blake, because talking to some of the players, and especially Bruce Boudreau, they don't feel any pressure. They say, it's a new year. We think we have a good hockey team, as good or better than last year. But you got to tee it up for 82 games and see what happens and then get ready for the playoffs.
I think they realize the pressure's going to be there eventually. They just want to have fun to start off.
Lusick to Richardson. Big drive from the top of the circle off the glove of Soucy right in front. Oh! Good effort by Hurd, but he couldn't get enough wood on it. Now it's a loose puck in front again. Hurd! Oh, he's out in the skates of Wickenheiser.
Hurd got it anyway.
Kelly Hurd! The Komets just kept pouring the pressure on Messier, Wickenheiser, and Hurd. They all had a shot at it. It finally popped back out to Kelly Hurd, and he tucked it home. And the Komets have another goal. They lead it 3-0.
This is the type of goal you never would have seen Kelly Hurd get last year because he was always outside. This year he's added quite a bit of muscle, and he was inside. This is the pass over to Wickenheiser, and Wickenheiser misses it, and then he picks it up. Kelly keeps fighting and picks it up and hits it on the backhand. Here it is. Soucy's down because he was going over to cover Wickenheiser. That left a wide open for Kelly.
And again, he got no help at all from his defense. And there's been a change made. Blake Soucy is out, and a name very familiar to IHL and Komet fans is in. Ray LeBlanc, the former Komet and Olympic goaltender. Ray LeBlanc is taking over.
After only 6 shots on goal, the Komets have 3 goals.
Hurd, his second goal of the game. on assist from Wickenheiser and Messier at the 7:08 mark, and it's 3-0 Komets.
This could be a little bit of a payback after last year. Remember, the Komets opened at home against Indianapolis and were blown out 7-3.
Yeah, Blake, I remember. We were here. People haven't let us forget it yet.
I wasn't going to mention that.
Well, we ended that hex May 21st.
That's right.
Now Joel Savage rings it around the boards, kept in though by the ice. Now right in front. McDonald steps into his man. O'Neill covers up for the faceoff.
Kevin didn't even go for the puck. He just went after Kevin St. Jacques, and he got him.
Both teams changing lines now, getting some fresh troops out there.
Remember, just a few minutes ago, the shots were 6-5. About 2 minutes later, they're 9-6 now in favor of the Komets.
Well, one of the things I've been impressed with in the early going, and talk about a carryover from last year, the Komets have great team speed.
Right, and they're using it very, very well. The forwards are getting way back on defense to help out.
So make sure Byram against Dave Smith for the draw in the Komet zone.
They're going to throw Smith because Savage was in the circle.
That's being, the other guy instead. That's being explained to the players by Mark Wilkins.
See, this is one of those rules that's in the rule book that the players never obeyed, so they tried to stiffen it up this year, hoping it would speed up the game, and in the early going, it's going to slow down the game.
Now off the draw, still left in the circle, goes into the corner. Grant Richardson behind his own goal. He starts the rush up ahead to center to Dave Smith. Off the wing now. That's poked away by Dykhouse, and Byron chases down for the ice. Now Smith along the boards. Popped in by Kerry Lusick. It'll be delayed offside in the Komets, though. Now Steve Fletcher coming in to put some pressure on. Richardson keeps it in. Now Smith works along the boards. Fletcher steps into his man. And they're along the boards again. There'll be a whistle and a face-off. Big Andrzejewski and Steve Fletcher pinning it along the boards.
Yes, Fletcher doing some talking to Dave Haxtell. He came in leading with the elbow. Hit Fletcher to the back of the head there.
This line out for the Komets. Dave Smith, Steve Fletcher, Joel Savage taking a stint at right wing with this line. Going against Sean Byram, Dino Grossi, and big Andrzejewski, Alexander Andrzejewski of the Indy Ice. 11:48 remains in the first period for the Coliseum. Kent Horman and Blake Sebring in the new Sentinel. Happy you could join us if you couldn't get a ticket. And it's been all Komets so far. They lead Indianapolis 3-0. Richardson fires along the boards. Fletcher comes together with his man that pushes into the ice. There'll be a penalty on the play. Now Smith steps into Andrzejewski. And there'll be a little discussion, but there will be a penalty, and I believe it'll be on the Komets' Steve Fletcher. Looks like there'll be a roughing call.
So far, Steve's got both the Komets penalties so far. It is a roughing call.
And the 8,100 paying officials don't like that call one bit. Fletcher will cool his second 2 minutes of the night, 2 minutes for roughing. All he really did was just push his man to the ice, but the referee didn't like how Fletch put him down, so he'll cool 2 for the rough, and Indianapolis goes in the power play once again.
Steve feels like the officials are targeting him, and that was one of those plays where it could lead him to believe that.
So the Komets penalty killing unit comes out. It'll be Lee Davidson and Ian Boyce, the defenseman Guy Dupuis and Kevin McDonald. And off the draw, McDonald just rips at the length of the ice.
This is where Komets might have a pretty good advantage. They've got Davidson and Boyce out there who are used to playing the penalty kill with each other. In Indy, this is only their second game. And a lot of those guys just aren't used to playing together yet.
Sameta fires it in behind the Komet goal. O'Neill leaves it for Dupuis. He picks out an opening and dumps the length of the ice again.
Susi lost the puck in his feet. There's the block now, sorry.
Belanger takes the hit from Davidson. Now Dupuis pitches in. Lee Davidson controlling. Komets doing a great job of penalty killing. Dupuis tries to chase down Kriva-Krasov, but here he comes. Sergei Kriva-Krasov, just 19 years old. One of the top prospects of the Chicago Blackhawks. Just recently sent down to the ice. Dykhouse at the point. Now down in the corner. Heavy hit by McDonald. Fed back to the point now. Dykhouse to Zach Boyer at the top of the circle. His low shot just wide. Kept in at the point, though, again by Sameta. Now it's Kriva-Krasov in the corner. Belanger takes the big hit from McDonald. Dykhouse again looks for the slot, intercepted by Dupuis, and he dumps it the length of the rink. Just 45 seconds remain in the ice power play.
Komets change up on the penalty killing units. They're doing a great job of keeping Indy away from the front of the net on the power play. Everything's on the outside.
Kevin St. Jacques leaves the pass. Bobby House comes in. His shot goes wide. And it just flips up over the glass. There'll be a whistle and a face-off. 10 minutes remain in the opening period. It's 3-0 Komets. You're watching Comet Hockey on TV 33.
Say, I ordered pepperoni and onions on this pizza. I can't taste them. I can't even see them. They're just cut small.
Small.
Small?
Very small.
Very small?
So small they can't be seen by the naked eye.
That's small.
That's small.
Looking for really big toppings? Now you can find them at Pizza Hut. Introducing the new Chunky Style Pizza. It's got big chunks of meat and vegetables for taste you can actually see.
Hey, I don't believe it. I see one.
Where? Hey.
Just kidding.
You haven't seen big toppings till you check out the new Chunky Style Pizza from Pizza Hut.
Back at the Coliseum, Indianapolis still working the power play. Spear fakes the shot. Andrzejewski comes in, fires quickly, and it deflects over the glass. Just 4 seconds remain in the ice power play. If you're just joining us, it's been all Komets so far. The first 7 minutes of the game, they jumped on Indianapolis for 3 goals. Chasing goaltender Christian Soucy of the ice. He's been replaced by Ray LeBlanc. And the Komets have everything firing on all cylinders right now.
It's probably important the Komets get a big lead because this is opening night. It is their first game. They're going to run into a point where they may not be able to recatch their second win quite as easily later in the game. They may need this lead.
Spear with the drive from the point. That deflects off a player skated into the corner. Now the ice still controlled, though. Terry Lusick intercepts along the boards. Spear.
This Messier broke his stick. He's playing it with his hand.
And it's cleared to neutral ice by the Komets. Messier will go back to the bench for fresh lumber. Spear circles in his own zone for Indianapolis. Now Kevin St. Jacques. He's bumped off by Wickenheiser. Flips it to center ice where Mitch Messier with a new Shillelagh controls. Bumped along the boards. Messier, though, still has it. Look at Mitch Messier work.
Mitch is one of those guys who always played his best games against the Komets.
Yeah, he never had too many problems in this building, so hopefully having him here for 41 games will help his career out and the Komets. Teams again change on the fly. Purvis just steps onto the ice. He has one of the goals in the game, and it's dumped back into the Komet zone. This will be icing against Indianapolis. Kerry Lusick with the touch, and the icing is called. 8:42 remains in the first period, and the Komets lead the ice 3-0. And Elvis is in the building. One of the crowd favorites here. Of course, there's been kind of a cult following for the Komets ever since the Franke family took over, and check him out.
The Coliseum board's heart just went in their throats when he did that.
Whenever he does that flying leap, about 12 flights, they always hold their breath.
They talked to him about it. They would rather he did not try that. They've even threatened to take away his tickets. Well, he keeps doing it.
Can't take away that gold lame suit. A score! Beautiful play by the Komets. Off the draw, McKee let it rip from the point, and it deflected over Ray LeBlanc's shoulder. We'll have to see if it went off a Komet player or a member of the ice, but a blistering drive by Brian McKee over LeBlanc's shoulder, and the Komets hit the board again. They lead it 4-0.
This is the kind of shot that Brian was famous for when he was here 3 years ago. I think he might have deflected off the Indianapolis defenseman there, Carl Dykhouse. But he did those all the time when he was here 3 years ago, and that's what the Komets want him to do again.
Well, as you know, Blake, you're right. McKee noted for having that quick trigger. He can really let it fly in a short period of time, and this is a guy they really need to step in to fill the void left by Jean-Marc Richard as far as an offensive defenseman.
He's also extremely accurate with it. He almost never hits the center of the goal. It's always in a corner.
The goal does go to Brian McKee. So that blast from the point must have gone off an ice player and into the goal. The assist to Colin Chin, who drew it back to McKee. So McKee has his first goal of the season, and the Komets are routing the Indianapolis ice early on. 4-0 here. 8 minutes still to go in the first period.
I think the rest of the teams in the league are going to see this and say, uh-oh.
Well, right now, Bruce Boudreau is walking behind the bench going, hey, this is easy. Chin on the draw with Zach Boyer of Indianapolis. Back to Lusick. Beautiful pass to Siplikov, feathers it in. Siplikov being hooked off the play. Couldn't get much wood on it. LeBlanc steers it aside. Indianapolis clears again, and this will be icing on the ice. Lusick with the touch. And Blake, you hit it right on the head. You said early on that this is a young hockey club and they have some injuries. There was a trade made. Indianapolis shorthanded, especially on the blue line. They're looking tired already, and we're barely halfway through the first period.
Yeah, they lost Adam Bennett. They traded to Edmonton for a player, and the player went directly to the Blackhawks, and they haven't gotten anybody back from the Blackhawks yet. And another player got a concussion last night, so they've only got 4 defensemen. And the forwards are not helping them.
Chin, Purvis, and Siplikov out for the Komets.
Purvis is inside the circle.
But it's Boyer who's chased out.
No, it's Chinner too. He's arguing about it.
They're both chased out.
So Purvis, he wanted to do the face-off.
You know, I wonder if this will go the way of grabbing the stick, because that was a rule that was heavily enforced the first part of a season, and then all of a sudden it kind of disappeared. I can see this lasting for maybe about 3 or 4 weeks, and then all of a sudden it will be business as usual.
And that time Chinner was in the circle.
Now Siplikov on the draw against Joe Crowley. Richardson just dumps the shot on goal, kicked aside by Ray LeBlanc. Indy tries to clear. Purvis steps into his man Dykhouse. Richardson fires it back into the Indianapolis zone.
Offsides.
That's right. The Komets couldn't clear the zone soon enough before the puck crossed.
Siplikov crossed the zone before Purvis got out.
7:51 to go here in the opening period from the Coliseum. The Komets lead the Indianapolis Ice 4-0. John Purvis a goal, Kelly Hurd with a pair, and Brian McKee to give the K's that 4-goal lead in their season opening game before a jam-packed house here at the Coliseum. Now Dykhouse tries to go ahead, but it's intercepted. Here's Siplikov. Siplikov crosses. Quick wrist shot off of LeBlanc's shoulder. Rebound in front. Chin tries to keep it going. Goes in hard with Boyer. Now Indianapolis tries to clear ahead. Hugo Belanger, one of the Ice rookies, ahead to Krivokrasov. Krivokrasov tries to get by Richardson. Leaves it at center, and here's Colin Chin. Long cross-ice pass just beyond Siplikov. LeBlanc comes out far of his net to clear it along the boards, and here's Zach Boyer. Tries to feed it ahead to Krivokrasov. This will be icing. Touched by Dupuis, and it's icing against Indianapolis. Just over 7 minutes remain in period 1. 4-0 Komets. You're watching Komet Hockey on TV 33.
For outdoor improvement, the Fort Wayne Awning Company has got you covered. From our beautifully hand-stitched canvas to custom design awnings, Fort Wayne Awning is shaped to fit your needs, big or small. And we do much more than manufacture canvas. During those cold months, we'll remove your awnings to allow the warmth of the winter sun, inspect and repair them if needed, and we'll even store them for you in the security of our heated warehouse. Remember, the more attention you give to your home or business, the more attention you'll receive. You've got it made in the shade with Fort Wayne Awning, 7105 Ardmore. If it's canvas, we make it.
Here's your 33 outdoor forecast. I'm weather specialist Betsy Thompson.
Back at the Coliseum, just over 7 minutes remain in the opening period. 4-0 Komets. They lead the Indianapolis Ice.
Ice haven't had a shot on goal in 7 minutes.
Komets have now outshot Indy 12-6. Lee Davidson and Kevin St. Jacques on the draw. Pulled back to Riccardi. Leaves the puck for an instant and tries to dump it ahead. Hits his own player with the shot. Now Dupuis takes his man off the play. Riccardi again tries to feed ahead. Good sweep check by Kevin McDonald. He starts the rush for the Komets. Dumps it into Indianapolis territory. Savage pulled down. Joel Savage was pulled down on the play, and there'll be a tripping penalty to Indianapolis, and the Komets will send their power play unit to work for the first time this season.
That was one of those where the Ice player had no choice. It was Mike Spear, because if he didn't, it's a 2-on-1 on the goalie.
Mike Spear goes off 2 minutes for tripping at the 13-14 mark, and the Komets will put their power play unit on the ice for the first time this season, and it looks like it'll be that line. Wickenheiser, Messier, and Siplikov. Lee Davidson will be at the point on this power play, along with Brian McKee.
That's just something the Komets have been working on during the preseason, with Lee Davidson or maybe even Mitch Messier on the point along with McKee. See if the Komets set up for McKee here again.
They scramble for the puck. McKee at the point. Now Messier trying to set up a screen in front.
Back out for McKee.
Weak pass, though, intercepted by Sean Byram. He dumps it to center where Lee Davidson takes it for the Komets. He dumps it along the boards, and here come the K's. Siplikov carries into the zone. Now he looks for a man. Off a nice play. McKee lets it fly just wide. And Messier being bumped out from in front of the slot. Now it's Byram trying to take some time off the clock for Indianapolis. Well, that's going to make a lot of friends.
Almost had chipped ice there.
Sean Byram wants to let it fly to try and clear it the length of the rink, and he fires it into his own bench, and that was a blistering shot. A lot of guys tying their skates at the same time right there.
Good thing they were paying attention.
Still a minute 22 left in the Comet power play.
The power play is one thing that the Komets really struggled with during the exhibition season because McKee was hurt and he wasn't out there. They didn't really have anybody to run it for him.
Wickenheiser submitted on the draw. Drawn back to Davidson. Cross ice to McKee. McKee keeps it in. Now Siplikov. Back to Brian McKee. Siplikov into the corner now. Big Doug Wickenheiser feeds it back to McKee. Now Wickenheiser top of the circle. Wickenheiser fakes the shot, turn in front. Siplikov looking for a man cutting. Messier cut down right in front of the Indianapolis goal. Siplikov circles a bit in the Comet zone.
You want to make the defense move as much as possible on this.
Now McKee's got the open shot. He lets it fly. Low shot. There's the rebound. Oh, great save by LeBlanc. Siplikov had him cold, but LeBlanc made the big save.
He saw it the whole way.
Hackstall just slashing all over Mitch Messier. Now Messier sticks a big shoulder into Hackstall. Indianapolis tries to clear. There will be a penalty coming up on the play.
Yeah, Messier drew another one from Hackstall. Ray LeBlanc started towards the Indy bench, and the referee told him, no, it's on your guys.
The penalty will go to the Indianapolis ice, and it'll be a slashing penalty. And the Komets, for 19 seconds, will have a two-man advantage. Dave Hackstall will go in and serve 2 minutes for the slash.
He and Messier were tussling, and Hackstall's the one who reacted. It was a great veteran play by Messier.
Well, the Komets will have 19 seconds of a two-man advantage. Just over 5 minutes remain in the opening period. 4-0 Komets, and they are looking for more. Purvis, Chin, and Savage are out this time for the Komets on the power play.
Once again, you got to remember, now the ice are down to 3 defensemen, so they're going to be shifting these guys in awful quick, and they're going to get tired.
Here comes Purvis, one man to beat. See Savage breaking in. Here's Savage. He fakes, he shoots, off the goalpost. Savage regroups and has the puck again, cruising through the top of the slot. Joel Savage had his man cold and hits the post. Now Richardson, side of the net to Purvis. Right in front. Quick shot. Oh, another save by LeBlanc, and he covers up in his crease. Kelly Hurd looking for the hat trick. Put the low shot on goal, and Ray LeBlanc smothered it with the big pads.
Schinner was in there trying to dig it out from under LeBlanc. That was an opportunity the Komets had there because they got behind the defense because the defense are getting tired. They're just slowing down.
The first ice penalty is up. The Komets still have 1 minute and 40 seconds of one-man advantage. And great scoring opportunities have come the Komets' way this first period. They definitely have the speed advantage and also the manpower advantage over Indianapolis.
This has been an awfully long first period, too, with all the stoppages and the whistles for the face-offs and such.
And it's been drawn out as well because of the long opening ceremonies. I'm sure a lot of the guys are looking forward to getting into that locker room for the first intermission just to let themselves settle down and regroup a little bit and say, okay, now the season's underway, we'll play hockey.
The period itself was taking about 45 minutes. Usually they last about 35. They're going to throw them out again.
Now Colin Chin chased out the face-off circle. Joel Savage will step in, take the draw.
They're going to show Joel out too if they see Colin, because Colin was in the circle. It's one of those deals where the guys have just got to realize the refs are going to call it and live with it. There's no other way because they're not going to give in.
Now Kelly Hurd right in front to Purvis. Oh, it's poke checked away on a good move by Spear, but the Komets still control. Savage in the slot. Purvis feeds it. Chin wraps it around, and it's just turned aside by LeBlanc. Great move by LeBlanc with the stick.
Colin got a face full of lumber, too.
And Sameta just came up high on Joel Savage. There's a quick shot by Richardson, just off the glove. Wrap around attempt by Joel Savage. The Komets putting on incredible pressure on the ice. Still a minute of power play time remains. Now Savage, down low, chin, Savage skates right in, quick shot. It's in a maze of players. Savage goes in heavily with Semeta. Now Richardson at the point. Byram, one-timer by Purvis, that's kicked out by LeBlanc. Savage goes in hard. Works Riccardi over, now they're talking it over a bit. Hurd lets it fly. Blocker saved by LeBlanc. And now Purvis and Spear are going to have a little bit of a rumble here. John Purvis.
Purvis is
and
not
Mike
known as a
Spear.
rough player.
Well, they're not getting much going right now. A little bulldogging.
Purvis only averages about 40 penalty minutes a year, so that's not his style.
Well, and this again will work to the Komets' advantage because you'll have Mike Spear, a defenseman, off the ice for at least 5 minutes.
Right now, they got 2 defensemen left.
Well, you can see this coming, Blake, because there was a situation where Indianapolis was putting the lumber up high on the Comet players during this whole power play.
That's not a bad move by Spear because they do only have those 3 defensemen. They need to give the goalie a rest. They were getting pummeled. They were getting plenty of chances around the Indianapolis goal. They needed a rest. That's one way to get a rest.
The ice, number 7, Mike Spear. Komets 25, Doug Wickenheiser. Each 2 minutes high sticking. Each 5 minutes fighting.
They got the wrong guy.
Excuse me, correction on that.
Well, Purvis and Spear each will go off 2 minutes for high sticking and 5 minutes for fighting. 3:43 remains here in the opening period. The Komets lead the Indianapolis Ice by the score of 4-0.
And each 5 minutes fighting at 16.
We'll be back with more of the Komets opening night. You're watching Komet Hockey on TV 33.
You have to admire Mother Nature. Always thinking. Providing the perfect packaging to keep food fresh. Fortunately, Dole remembered the one thing nature forgot to provide for. Dole Classic Blend Salad. Packed in a breathable bag that keeps it just as crisp, fresh, and delicious as Mother Nature intended. If only she'd thought of it.
Welcome back to the Coliseum. 3.5 minutes remain in the opening period. Kent Horman and Blake Sebring of the News Sentinel bringing you tonight's opening game of the Komets 93-94 season. It's 4-0 Komets over the Indianapolis Ice. 20 seconds remain in the Komet power play. Now Siplikov feeds it back to Davidson at the point. Now Siplikov, good cross-ice pass McKee. Now to Wickenheiser. His low shot goes into an ice player's skate. And they clear it to neutral ice, and then it goes over the glass again. And into the crowd just behind the Indianapolis bench.
Rubber biscuit.
Bruce Boudreau has to like what he's seen so far from his hockey club, but Blake, you really have to wonder. We've talked about it at length about not only the youth, but the shorthanded situation the Ice obviously faces. You wonder if this is really a fair test for his hockey club. You'll take a win any way you can, but it's almost looked too easy here so far.
Oh, I think the Ice are going to be one of the weakest teams in the league this year, just because they are so young. They lost all their veteran leadership. I mean, 3 years ago, they were a great team. And all those guys are gone now. There's nobody left to be the leader on this team. Adam Bennett got traded.
Kriva Krasov tries to feed ahead. Semeta hooked off the play by Wickenheiser. Kevin McDonald into the skates of Hurd. Now Kriva Krasov tries to bust in off the wing. He's offside. And they regroup at center ice. Dumped into the Komet corner, left behind the net by Mike O'Neill. Now Guy Dupuis takes the hit and wraps it along the boards. Indy keeps it in. Now here come the Komets. Wickenheiser breaking in off the wing. Just one man to beat. Fed ahead to Hurd. Hurd tries to leave it. It's in the skates of Dave Hackstall. Now Wickenheiser behind the goal. Taken off the play by Carl Dykhouse. And here comes Sergei Kriva-Krasov of the Indianapolis Ice. Weaves at center ice. McDonald comes up high to take him off the play. Clear up to the red line. Andrzejewski takes the hit from Dupuis. Now the Ice work it in. Here's Andrzejewski into the corner behind the goal. Takes a hit from Ian Boyce. Now a big drive by Byram. That whistles over O'Neill's shoulder and off the glass.
Got McDonald and Semeta tangling in the corner.
And Dupuis just rode his man off the play heavily and into the goal. And Andrzejewski a little frustrated.
Yeah, Semeta and McDonald are talking to each other in the corner. The linesman's in there.
2 minutes minutes remain in the opening period here at the Coliseum. The Komets lead the Indianapolis Ice 4-0. Opening night for the K's in their 93-94 season. They begin the defense of their Turner Cup championship. Starting the night with a 17-game winning streak, but I guess you really don't count it now, Blake.
It doesn't count. It doesn't carry over. Peoria holds the IHL record at 18 games, but the games do not carry over to the next season. Of course, this isn't really the same Komets team either. That wouldn't be fair. If they had the same 20 guys back, maybe.
Yeah,
but they don't.
That's a good point.
They're looking awfully strong. Shots are now 20-6. It's been 11 minutes since the Ice here even sniffed the Fort Wayne goal.
Off the draw, the Komets control. Kerry Lusick. Cross to his defensive mate, Grant Richardson, who just feeds it into the Indianapolis zone. Oh, centering pass. LeBlanc tries to steer right. Steve Fletcher dumped a shot on goal, and Fletcher and Byram having a conversation.
Byram did an excellent job there to deflect the shot, so Fletch couldn't get good wood on it. Okay, and Andruski's in front with Boise. And here comes Fletcher right there with Byram. Nice stick placement by Byram. Here comes another angle on it. Oh.
Well, goal-scoring opportunities are few and far between for Fletcher. Whenever he's around that net and has a chance to pot one, he usually goes for it. Fletcher, Smith, and Ian Boyce on this line for the Komets. And again, another player chased out of the face-off circle. It'll be Sameta and Dave Smith. Now Sameta is run. Dino Grossi and Smitty. Drawn back to Fletcher, now at the point, Richardson. His low shot goes into the corner. Byram didn't even play the puck, was worried about the hit from Fletcher, and the Komets control. Quick shot by Lusick. Oh, that's deflected and goes just wide.
Dave Smith.
Now Fletcher, another heavy hit along the boards. And Byram was looking to line up Fletcher. Look for this later on in the hockey game. Minute and a half remaining in the opening period. It's 4-0 Komets over the Indianapolis Ice, and play now starting to turn a little more physical. Boyce takes a hook. And now Byram steps into Ian Boyce. Now here's Steve Fletcher. Good pass ahead to Dave Smith. Smitty tries to get by Dykhouse. He's ridden heavily into the corner. Oh, a collision behind the goal.
We got Dave Smith.
Now Dykhouse trying to work on Smith.
They took exception.
And Grossi's trying to pick on Boyce and dump him into the goal.
The Ice took exception to Ian Boyce running into goaltender Ray LeBlanc, who was out of the net. And it wasn't anything Ian did on purpose. It was just he happened to run into him. The Ice took exception to it. Which is interesting because LeBlanc's not known for roaming much from the goal. But there he was trying to help out the defenseman and he got caught.
It was a situation, too, where Boyce was just going behind the net to play the puck, and appeared as if there was a collision where the Indianapolis player kind of rode him in there. It wasn't heavy contact, but you can also tell right now this is a frustrated Ice team.
Right, there's the bank, and LeBlanc's right next to Boyce, and Boyce goes away from him, and Smith gets LeBlanc on the way back. Smitty likes to cause trouble. He's one of the most shy and unassuming guys off the ice, but once he gets on, he's in trouble.
21, Carl Dykhouse. Komets 14, Dave Smith. Each 2 minutes roughing at 18:51.
Each team assessed some penalty time. Smith and Dykhouse will go off 2 minutes for roughing.
You know, you get the feeling it's almost like the Komets are having a plan to go right at those Indianapolis defense, because that's where all the penalties for Indianapolis are coming from. It's from their defense.
Well, and you have to believe that wily veteran Bruce Boudreau, who maybe doesn't have a lot of miles pacing behind the bench, but he sure does on the ice. This hasn't gone unnoticed by him that Indianapolis is really, really down as far as defense is concerned. And you're right, Blake. What has been a long first period, 2 more to go, and they could really be dragging by the time we get late into this hockey game.
Not to mention how you feel when you're down 4-0 after the first period.
Siplikov trying to work along the board. He's being hacked by Hackstall. Now Kriva Krasov behind the goal. And Indy starts a rush. Jeff Riccardi just tries to dump it in. Siplikov knocks it down and will start it back behind his own goal for the Komets. McDonald avoids the big check by Kriva Krasov. LeBlanc way out of his net. Leaves it for Riccardi.
Good stand-up by McKee.
And Siplikov steps into his countryman Kriva Krasov.
Former line mate. You got to think Sipikov's enjoying this tonight.
15 seconds left in the opening period. Indy just dumps it into the Comet zone. O'Neill behind the goal. We're in the final 10 seconds. And the Comets content to shoot at the length of the rink. LeBlanc will play it, so there'll be no icing. And that'll do it. The end of the first period, it's been all Fort Wayne Komets. They've outshot the ice 21-6. And at the end of one period, the Komets lead the ice by the score of 4-0. We'll be back with our intermission highlights. Stay with us.
Sometimes you need a car when you least expect it. Who do you call? Ace Rent-A-Car has great cars and vans at super saver rates. You can rent a Chevrolet Cavalier or comparable size 4-door at the reduced rate of only $109 per week. Why pay more? When you need a car or van in a hurry for any reason, you don't need to fret and pay a lot. Just $109 per week. Save at Ace Rent-A-Car, 2 blocks north of Glenbrook on Speedway Drive.
Beer and everything you need to make it. It's fresh, it's inexpensive, and it's easy. You make it right in your own home. The largest selection of all the home brewing supplies you need at the lowest prices. The complete home beer making kit at Great Fermentations really is complete. Just add ingredients and start making beer at home for only $39.95. On sale now only at Great Fermentations.
Building together, building it right. Building our economy, building for life.
Over 1,000 homes are being built this year by members of the Home Builders Association of Fort Wayne, creating thousands of jobs and millions in revenue for our economy. So when you choose a builder, make it a member of the Home Builders Association of Fort Wayne and enjoy it for life.
Building jobs and building dreams.
A news update from TV 33, your 24-hour local news channel.
It's 9 o'clock, 38 degrees. Good evening, I'm Ava Filson. President Clinton says it's largely up to African leaders to find a solution for the situation in Somalia. Clinton has said Mohammed Aidid would not be barred from a role in any new government, but administration officials say a U.S. envoy, Robert Oakley, won't negotiate with the warlord. Meanwhile, Aidid has told followers that he supports an American proposal to let Somalia solve its own problems.
The Les Brown Show, only on TV 33.
Dan Navarro.
Welcome back to the Coliseum. Well, it's been a good opening night so far for the Komets. 20 minutes in the books, and the K's lead the Indianapolis Ice by the score of 4-0. They outshot Indianapolis in period 1, 21-6. It's been a good blend so far for the Komets. Some of the veterans from last year's championship team looking very good. Kelly Hurd with a couple of goals, and the newcomers as well. John Purvis has a goal. Brian McKee, a former Komet, also has a goal. Other players like Vladimir Siplikov have played outstanding hockey, and this looks like a good-looking Komet hockey club. At least we can say this after 20 minutes of play. I know it's a long season. We talk about how this Komet hockey club has come together. New coach Bruce Boudreau invited several players to camp to try and blend a good, solid hockey club that could represent the city of Fort Wayne well and make another good run at the Turner Cup. Let's take a look at how this team came together in training camp.
Glenbrook Dodge Hyundai would like to...
New Komets coach Bruce Boudreau welcomed 36 players to his first training camp. A third of the roster was made up of members of last spring's Turner Cup championship team, while the rest was a combination of some IHL and American Hockey League veterans, plus some hopeful rookies. Boudreau promised to give everybody a good look and a fair shot at making the hockey club.
We want to be able to evaluate everything right off the bat, so that if we find out that, geez, some guy had 11 hits that game that normally you might not see, we want to be able to see that. At the same other end of the spectrum, we want to see if a guy had 8 giveaways, we want to see that. We want to be able to tell him right off the bat that, hey, you had a fair chance, this is a great organization, and if we have guys that are willing to commit and sacrifice, and that they'll get an awful lot longer look than the guys that won't.
Boudreau put together a camp that was loaded with talent. In addition to the solid veterans like Kelly Hurd, Lee Davidson, Ian Boyce, Colin Chin, and Grant Richardson, the team was bolstered with the signing of Doug Wickenheiser, a former #1 draft pick in the NHL, who scored 30 goals for Peoria last season, and John Purvis, a sniper who played in Germany last season after scoring 43 goals in the American Hockey League 2 years ago. Make no mistake, this team will be able to play with anybody in the eye, and word is out, it takes something special to be a Comet.
Bruce made it clear that he's looking for a certain nucleus in the team, and he said, if somebody doesn't have as much talent as another person but has more heart, well, he's going to go with the guy with heart. And basically that's what won it for us last year. We maybe didn't have as much talent as San Diego did, but we worked hard and we had more heart, and that's what won it for us.
I've been in a lot of situations, played in a lot of different situations, so I think I can help out in different areas, offensively, defensively, however Bruce wants to use me. So, I just came here to try to be with a team that has a chance of winning, which is something every player wants to do. I mean, at the start of the season, you have your personal goals, but I think ultimately everybody wants to win a championship, and they won it last year, and I think with the team we have here this year, we should have a pretty good shot at doing it again.
I think our expectations are going to be very high. We have a good quality nucleus from last season, and I think we have some very good players with a lot of experience. So I think we're looking to maybe repeat, but definitely to have a very strong season.
Just like every year, we're going to be trying for the Turner Cup. It was nice to finally win one, but it's a short summer, and now we got to defend it. It's the first time we've ever had to defend one since I've been here, so it's probably going to be a little bit tougher job, but we're all looking forward to it, and that's going to be our goal.
Heart and character have become the key words associated with the black and orange these days. The Komets players and management know duplicating last year's sweep to the Cup will be nearly impossible, but they're ready to give it their best shot. The guys who drank champagne from the cherished trophy last May have told the newcomers how sweet it is, and they have a thirst for more.
See this? Hottest thing on the road. The all-new Chevy S10. Its design is sleeker, yet it's roomier. It has more power and rides smoother. In fact, S10 is redesigned for '94. Take it for a test ride. You might win a 31-inch color TV. Get the details at your Northeast Indiana Chevy dealers. Don't dawdle. The S10s will go fast. And so will the TV.
Central Electronics has been serving Fort Wayne for over 35 years, offering dependable Zenith products at low prices. Central Electronics has built a solid reputation for service after the sale, backing up every purchase with a professional trained service department. Before you buy your next TV, VCR, or camcorder, see Steve or Judy at Central Electronics. That's where you'll find your best buy on any quality Zenith product. Central Electronics, proudly serving you at 2312 Goshen Road. After the game, shoot over to Shooters and let the good times roll. Shooters is Fort Wayne's friendliest sports bar, where the big games are on the big screen via satellite. Shake it up on Shooters dance floor and enjoy the friendly hospitality that makes Shooters the place to be. On Fridays, dive into the seafood buffet, featuring free peel-and-eat shrimp and crab legs. Thursday is Buck Night, with long necks and more for just $1. See you soon at Shooters, just behind Glenbrook on Fern Hill.
You should see these gigantic frogs they have around here. They more or less grow better, the frogs. The frogs weigh about 5 pounds. That's pretty big for a frog. Eating frogs is the best part. Big frog.
There wasn't no frog. I think that was a saddle.
I don't know, maybe it's the bugs they have down here.
Welcome back to the Coliseum. We're between periods 1 and 2, and things looking good so far for the Fort Wayne Komets. They lead the Indianapolis Ice by the score of 4-0. It's always a pleasure to have the fine commissioner of the International Hockey League here in town, and Tom Barry joins us tonight. And Tom, so far, it's a good night for the Komets, but it's been a good night for the International Hockey League. The season underway for all the teams now in the IHL, and it looks like another exciting year in this league. And great excitement again new team, Las Vegas.
I think it's exciting to be here because not only the win that Fort Wayne had with the Turner Cup, but in a sense, all of our teams last year were Turner Cup winners because everyone did well at the box office, and they're all back this year, and that in itself is quite an accomplishment these days. And I'm sure that having looked at some of the rosters and seen a great number, namely 6 of the preseason games, we're looking at a great year out there on the ice for the fans. Just tremendous.
There are a lot of outstanding players in this league now, a lot of guys with NHL experience. I mean, this has really become a top-flight quality league, not only as far as hockey night in, night out, but as far as developing players for the National Hockey League.
Absolutely. It's really a thrill to say that we had 74 young men that played 25 or more games in our league last year that also went up and played the same number or more in the National Hockey League. So that's development, and that's what we're all about. Our officials, our coaches, we have 8 coaches went up this year. We even have some staff people from the front office at our office that went up. So it's really exciting to be in that position where we can have the great young men of all ages and hopefully have some ladies some days who move on up to the National Hockey League.
This league continues to grow. You have Las Vegas in this year. Next year, Denver comes in.
It's truly exciting. And, you know, that's funny, Kent, we haven't even stopped. We have applications on the table with their money for San Francisco and Houston right now, which the governors will be acting on within the next couple of weeks. So, you know, instead of being 14 teams next year playing hockey, we may well have 16, and that would be exciting.
Tom, good to have you in Fort Wayne, and keep this league going. You've done a great job, and this league has really come into its own since you've been the commissioner of the IHL.
Thanks for the kind words. Pleasure to be here in Fort Wayne.
IHL Commissioner Tom Barry. We're going to get in Stephen Franke now, the Chief Executive Officer of the Fort Wayne Komets. And Stephen, first of all, congratulations and welcome to opening night. And it's a good night for the Fort Wayne Komets. Looks like you're picking up right where you left off last May.
It's been fun so far. I mean, I'm looking at this and saying, gosh, this kind of reminds me of last year.
Have you gotten over last spring yet?
You know, when I walked into the building earlier in the night and saw they were still putting some of the stuff up on the boards, and I'm saying, I told my wife, I kept my heart kind of had a little sinking in it. It kind of made me feel good, but it kind of made me feel bad. But then I said, you know, this is what it's all about, really.
Well, tough act to follow, but you guys have done an outstanding job of, again, putting all the pieces in place to make another good run at it.
Yeah. Oh, you know, I think they say the first is the best. I don't know that I agree with it. I think maybe every year it's going to get better, really. And, I mean, this is a challenge to our guys. I mean, I was down in the locker room before the guys went on the ice. I mean, they were cheering like they were in Cleveland, Atlanta, and San Diego. I mean, this is, you know, I think maybe they're already on a mission, and we still got 80 more to go.
Well, you've done a great job of putting this hockey club together, and it's been so solid under your ownership the last 3 years, and I'm sure we're looking forward to another outstanding season of Comet hockey. Congratulations, and best of luck this year.
Okay, thank you, and we're looking forward to it, too.
Thanks, Steve. Comet CEO Stephen Franke. We'll be back to review the highlights of the first period, and there were plenty. Stay with us.
Well, we pride ourselves in our people.
Well, some of these people have been together over 20 years, so we've been together a long time.
But without a customer, we're nothing. So the customer is the boss. That's it in a nutshell.
Crumpac Simon Chevrolet Geo. Come talk to us. 15 years ago, Scott's Food Stores created an event to benefit your American Cancer Society, and to date have raised more than $1 million. The day has grown to a week. There are runners, walkers, golfers, and shoppers. Scott's Foods thanks the more than 40,000 who participated, along with hundreds of volunteers, suppliers, and our associates. Thanks a million.
Everybody should do this. It's so easy. There are thousands of machines.
Who thought of this?
Could you use some extra help and more freedom in your life? That's why Mac does more.
I can make purchases, and I can also get money out of the machine.
It saves time. It saves for me writing checks.
This card will take me anywhere. It never turns me down.
Yes?
We need a new tire.
And you'll need a shock and a strut and a lube and a brake and a rust-proof job so your paint don't flake.
Not.
At the Tire Barn Warehouse, we'll sell you the tire you want and give you the fast, high-tech tire service you need. and we won't make you buy the farm. Because at the Tire Barn, tires are all we do.
Tire Barn, major brand quality, wholesale price.
Kent Horman and Blake Sebring back at the Coliseum, where the Fort Wayne Komets lead Indianapolis 4-0 after one period of play. And Blake, the first period, all Komets, and it didn't take long to get things started. Newcomer John Purvis, just 14 seconds after they dropped the puck, bingo, the K's have a goal.
Yeah, he got set up very nicely by Vladimir Sipakov, who was a nice player last year. Sipakov's in behind the net. He sees Purvis coming across, and he hits it, and he goes right through the 5-hole.
Kelly Hurd scored 2 quick goals for the Komets, this being the second one. He's picked up right where he left off in exhibition play.
Yeah, Kelly actually got the puck knocked right back to him by the Indianapolis defenseman, number 3, Bacardi. And he just lifted it over Susi, who was diving across to try to stop Wickenheiser.
And that is the second of Kelly Hurd's 2 goals in the hockey game so far. Again, quickly reviewing John Purvis, his first goal at the 14-second mark, giving the Komets a 1-0 lead. Then Kelly Hurd scores at the 4:41 mark, a beautiful shorthanded goal. That made it 2-0. Hurd again scores for the Komets at the 7:08 mark on assist from Wickenheiser and Mitch Messier to make it 3-0 Komets. And then Brian McKee with a drive from the point at the 11:21 mark, deflected in by an Indianapolis player, but it still found the back of the goal, and that gave the Komets their 4-0 lead over the Indianapolis Ice after 20 minutes of play. And Blake, you made an excellent point. Early on in the game, the Komets controlled the play, but Indianapolis had outshot them 6-5. All of a sudden, you take a look at the shot clock after one period. The Komets outshot the Ice 21-6. That's domination.
13 minutes since they've even come close to getting a shot on goal.
Both teams have returned to the ice now. Just before the period ended, there were little extracurriculars. Purvis of the Komets and Spear of the Ice went off. 7 minutes of penalty time. 2 for high sticking, 5 for fighting.
We got Dykhouse and Smith both for roughing. That's the penalties that are being killed off right now, those 2 players. It'd be interesting to see. Sometimes Ray LeBlanc comes out and he can be really hot, especially in this building. It'd be interesting to see if the Ice get the next goal, if they can come back in this game. They got to be tired. They played in Peoria last night, and that's a miserable drive over here from Peoria. So it'd be interesting to see if they can get a little bit of life. If the Komets get the next goal, it's over. I mean, and it's going to be quite a comeback at 4-zip anyway, but that'll be the final nail.
If you talk to any coach, they always talk about how that first minute or two and last minute or two of every period is extremely important. And talking to Bruce Boudreau in the pregame and things like that, he said, we want to come out and get on these guys in a hurry and try and put them away in a hurry. You know, we both talked about this, get a couple of goals in the first minute or two or the first 5 minutes. And you said the Komets were going to try and win the game in the first 10. So far, that is all worked to perfection as far as they're concerned. So now it's a situation, let's see what happens here in the first couple of minutes of period 2. Can the Komets close this one out in a hurry, or will Indianapolis try and fight their way back in? We're underway here in period number 2. Vladimir Sipakov leading it for the Komets, leaves it for Kerry Lusick, who dumps it back behind the goal. Taken off the play is Colin Chin by Haxtell, and Indy turns it back up ice along the wing. Kevin St. Jacques, now he spins at the blue line. Leaves a little pass for Semeta. Right in the slot to Riccardi. Quick shot. Oh, it's blocked on a great play by Kerry Lusick.
Already the Ice are trying to force more of the action than they did anytime in the first period. They had 4 people below the dot on that. Semeta's going to get called for high-sticking Chin from behind. Almost tore his head off.
And Colin Chin, who seems to just take a beating year in and year out, shift in and shift out, takes a licking and keeps on ticking. One of the smallest guys in the league, but pound for pound, one of the toughest.
I think a part of Colin's success lately, too, is he's taken a lot better care of himself the last 2 years than he did earlier in his career. And he's had to. He's in his 30s now, and he needs to take better care of himself, and he's done a great job of it. This will be the Komets' second power play of the night.
Semeta goes off the ice, 2 minutes for high sticking, just 37 seconds into period 2. The Komet power play unit goes to work again. And this will be a chance for the Komets to see if they can get another goal and more or less put the final nail in as far as the Indianapolis Ice is concerned.
This is an odd formation for the Komets to start off on a power play. Partly because it's 4-on-4 now. Now it's 4-on-3 with the penalty to the ice. So it'll be interesting to see how the Komets line up on this power play. This is something they're not used to.
On the face-off, Brian McKee sneaking in on the draw here. He'll be on the wing, and he'll drop back to his point position. Lee Davidson out in the point. And the front line of Wickenheiser and Messier. Wickenheiser sweeps it back to Lee Davidson. Davidson, a lot of ice, fakes the shot. Now to Wickenheiser. Back to Davidson. Fakes the shot again. Playing catch with Wickenheiser right in front, tipped by Messier, and it's loose in front. Ice try to clear, and it gets to neutral ice. Ray LeBlanc with a big save there for Indianapolis. McKee dumps it behind the goal. LeBlanc way out of his net again. Now Wickenheiser sweeps it in front. LeBlanc clears the length of the rink.
You see Davidson hesitate a little bit on taking the shot from the point. This is their first game playing him out to the point. He'll be more comfortable with that as the year goes on. He'll take more of those shots.
Messier fires it in behind the goal. Wickenheiser with some good forechecking takes Dykhouse off the play. Big Doug Wickenheiser, a lot of NHL and IHL experience, putting that to use now in the Comet power play. Siplikov into the corner for Messier. Out at the point, McKee, he spins, fakes the shot again. It's Wickenheiser. The Comet setting up the power play.
Back to 5-on-4.
Now Siplikov again feeds the point to McKee. Cross ice to Davidson. Davidson hounded by Boyer. Now it's Wickenheiser. He lets the shot go low. Tipped into the corner by Hackstall. Messier takes it, sweeps into the corner. Big cross ice pass. Siplikov, high shot off the shoulder of LeBlanc. Good cross ice pass that got through, and Siplikov with the shot right on. Now it's Siplikov again, right in front. Messier pushed off the play. Davidson's low shot deflected into the corner. Davidson keeps it in at the point. Takes the high hit, though, from Boyer, and now it's back to neutral ice. Brian McKee just flips it into the zone. Byram comes up high and from behind on McKee.
Comets changing up.
And Indianapolis clears it past Grant Richardson. O'Neill out of his net. Leaves it for Grant Richardson. The Comets just 10 seconds left in the power play. Kelly Hurt along the boards. Ahead to Dave Smith, who fires it in. Colin Chin giving chase. Leaves it back for Joel Savage. Now Savage into the corner for Dave Smith. Savvy plays it off the boards. Both teams now at even strength. Richardson poked from behind on the play by Rob Sameta. Both teams again at even strength. Chin can't get the pass in front. Now a weak shot. Chin knocked down from behind again, and there'll be another Indianapolis penalty. There must be a bullseye on Colin Chin's back.
And it's part of it, too, is that he's trying to draw that penalty also. So if he gets hit from behind, he's going down. Now watch Colin. He's right in the middle there. Here he comes. This is Davison. Ooh. Crunch.
3, Jeff Riccardi. 2 minutes cross-checking.
Jeff Riccardi goes off the ice. 2 minutes for the cross-check at the 2:51 mark. And just like that, the Canes go back to work on the power play.
You can always tell when a player is trying to draw it, too. I mean, very rarely do both feet leave the ice when he gets hit from behind or anywhere.
We've got some other scores from around the International Hockey League on the season opening weekend. At the end of 2 periods, Atlanta leads Kalamazoo 4-1. Cleveland over Cincinnati 4-3. That's the end of 2 periods. And at the end of 1 period, Salt Lake and the new Las Vegas team are scoreless.
Aha, maybe there is a way to shut down Vegas.
Colin Chin.
Could it be said that they have a gambling type offense?
It's getting dangerous. And Indianapolis tries to clear, and they do the length of the rink. 17 minutes remain in period 2. The Comets 4-0 over the ice. Kent Horman and Blake Sebring, the new Sentinel. Happy you could join us tonight if you weren't one of the lucky 8,000 to get a ticket for the Comets season opener. Joel Savage, who's usually a force in front of the net during a Comet power play, takes it into the corner with 2 ice players. Chin comes out with it now. Kelly Hurt on the point during this power play for the K's. He's looking for the hat trick tonight. Now it's back to Hurt at the point. Tries to feed the pass, and the slot deflected. Savage with a quick shot right on. And it's covered up by Ray LeBlanc. And again, a little rough stuff going on in front of the ice goal.
Dave Smith trying to start something again.
16 minutes and 30 seconds remain in period 2. It's 4-0 Comets. We'll be back.
Everybody should do this. It's so easy. There are thousands of machines.
Who thought of this? Could you use some extra help and more freedom in your life? That's why Mac does more.
I can make purchases, and I can also get money out of the machine.
It saves time. It saves for you writing checks.
This card will take me anywhere. It never turns me down.
Dave Smith, is part of his job is to create turbulence in front of the net, and here he goes at it with Sameta again. or Dykhouse. This is Carl Dykhouse, and there he sticks to the block, throws it in there, and the defense are getting irritated by it, but they've only got 4 defense. That's part of his job, to create turbulence in there.
Both players go off 2 minutes for roughing, Dykhouse and Smith. The Komets still have 1 minute and 10 seconds of power play time, and big Steve Fletcher is out on the power play unit for the Komets. Kelly Hurd at the point. Colin Chin tries to feed the pass, poked away by Spear, but the K's still control.
Komets are trying a little bit of everybody. They got Steve Fletcher out there on the power play right now, and that's something you don't normally see. They've got Kelly Hurd back on the point. They're just trying different things. When you're up 4-0, you can try whatever you want.
Now Chin leads the rush, tries to split the defense right down center ice. Fletcher lets it go, and it's blocked. A good play by Boyer. Fletcher again flips the shot. Another block by the Indianapolis defense. And it's cleared the length of the rink. Steve Fletcher had a couple of big bombs he tried to unload, but 2 Indianapolis defensemen threw their body in front of the puck and kept it away from Ray LeBlanc.
Now that takes some guts. I don't know if I could have done that quite as efficiently.
Messier tries to feed the pass ahead. Ian Boyce and is offside. Just offside. The pass went off an Indianapolis player's skate and just threw Boyce about a stride over the blue line. So it's whistled down, and they'll face it off outside the Indianapolis zone.
That's one of those deals where the players always try to cheat just a little bit, because the one time it doesn't get called is when it really pays off.
Like we're 4.5 minutes into period 2, and Indianapolis still has not had a shot on goal. They have been stuck on 6 for an eternity.
Actually, it's about 17 minutes. They're going to go a whole period.
Wickenheiser and Messier out, along with Ian Boyce.
Mike O'Neill could sit here and count all 8,100 people.
Draw goes back behind the Comet goal. Lee Davidson will start the rush. Feeds the pass up the middle to Mitch Messier, poked off of his stick. Here come the Ice with a little pressure. But Brian McKee takes over for the Komets. Now McKee, long cross-ice pass, can't find anybody. This could be icing. And the touch is made by Dave Haxtell. A misfire there on the Komet passing attack, and they'll face it off in the Komet zone. Just 3 seconds remain in the K's power play.
So far, there's been no life from the ice. They just haven't shown it. Getting that penalty right off the bat of the second period was not helpful. I mean, they had no chance to get any momentum going at all. And that's rarely gotten across center.
That surprised me a little bit by any hockey team that's coached by a Sutter, because they're known for their firebrand type of enthusiasm and attitude. And I think it's a situation where, as you said earlier, this is still a team that probably is looking for some chemistry and an identity. A young hockey club, and they're looking for some leadership. So it's a long season, but it could be a long one as far as Indianapolis is concerned.
Yeah, the average age of the two teams is about 28 to 22, and 22 being generous probably for the Ice players.
It'll be Zach Boyer of the Ice against Siplikov. Draw goes back to the point. Kriva crossoff. Now to Andreveski. It's in the slot, and Colin Chin pokes it away, and he starts up the rush for the Komets. His long pass is knocked down by Jeff Riccardi. Now off the wing, it's Boyer. Boyer, one man to beat. Quick shot. Good save by Mike O'Neill. And now Vladimir Siplikov.
18 minutes without a shot for Indy.
Puck at neutral ice, dumped back in behind the Komet goal. O'Neill leaves it for Guy Dupuis. Takes the hit from Boyer and feeds it along the boards to John Purvis. Now Purvis along the wing. He's hacked at by Kriva Krasov. Dumps it behind the ice goal. Purvis steps into Haxtell with the big shoulder. Now Siplikov. Oh, he tries for the pass, but it's poked away by Jeff Riccardi. Here come the Ice. Zach Boyer in the off wing. Leaves it. Now Riccardi feeds the quick pass over to Kriva Krasov, and that shot goes just wide. And Riccardi can't control. They go back to neutral ice.
Well, you got to take advantage. I mean, this is the first good chance they had all night, and they missed the net.
Andreveski, the pass to Byram. Byram tries to cut in. Lucic with a good play. Kicks it away with his skates. Andreveski now bumps Lucic right in front. Left all alone is the Ice player, Hugo Belanger, but it's poked away by the Komets.
Richardson nailed him. Lucic was able to make that play because Messier tied his man up, so it left Lucic free to come over and help out.
Now Grant Richardson ahead to Messier. He slips the check. Puck into Indianapolis Ice territory. Now behind his goal, it's Dave Haxtell. Ahead to Byram. He can't control. Dupuis fires it quickly back into the Indianapolis zone. Play picking up just a little bit here in period 2. 13 minutes and 30 seconds remain. 4-0 Komets over the Ice. Now the Ice break in quickly. And a shot in the goal. Dino Grossi.
Yeah, he beat Guy Dupuis outside of the point and got it right around and got a clear shot on net. Probably the first clear shot on net the Ice have had all night.
Well, once he got by Dupuis, it shaped up as a 2-on-1. Grossi decided not to pass it, just let it fly, and surprised Mike O'Neill. Let's take a look at that one.
Yeah, see there, he's already past Dupuis, and he's coming around. He winds up, and he's got a clear angle on him. And O'Neill came out to get him and tried to cut off the angle, but he went right through the 5-0. Yeah, right through the legs. There's only so much room a goalie can cover when he has to go out like that. He's got to leave a hole somewhere, and Grossi picked it.
Indianapolis gets on the board, and that cuts into the Comet lead. It's now 4-1 Ks. Grossi the goal, his first of the season, with the assist to Sean Byram at the 6:34 mark. So that could breathe a little bit of life into the Indianapolis ice.
Big hit at center ice.
Now Kevin St. Jacques. Cross to Mike Spear. Spear.
Yeah, the ice can't get out of the neutral zone. They got nowhere to go with the puck, so they gave it away.
No, this is the Comets' best forechecking line. Savage, Davidson,
two-line
and
pass.
Ian Boyce, and an offside pass on the Comets.
You can see the ice players looking at the puck, trying to look up, find somewhere to go with it, and there's just nowhere to go. They're wary of being hit and losing the puck in their own zone. St. Jacques spent that whole time looking at his feet.
We talked earlier how things might have come a little too easy for the Comets with the way play was dominated by the K's in the first period. Now it's a situation where maybe this is a bit of a wake-up call. Things were going so much their own way. Now they have to make sure they can answer this little bit of an explosion here by the ice. They've gotten on the board. They'll play with a little more confidence, so the Comets have to regroup and take over again.
Well, you could see the Comets had gotten away from the hitting. I mean, it was really up and down, a fast-paced game, which is not really what the Comets want to do. That's more of the Indianapolis style. The Comets can do that.
Another 2-on-1 by the ice. Oh, St. Jacques Dupuis went down and did a good job of breaking up that potential 2-on-1. Good move by Guy Dupuis. Indianapolis still keep it in, though. Now it's Ian Boyce going after the puck. Knocked down from behind is Kevin McDonald.
McDonald got stuck in the face. I'm not sure who he's going to call this on.
It might have been Semeta again. McDonald blasted from behind.
I'd like to welcome all the TV people here tonight, of course.
McDonald's up, so he's all right. Here comes Steve Semeta. Oh, nasty slash. That's something that they're trying to get out of hockey as much as they can. I mean, there's no way he was playing the puck. He was always just strictly trying to injure McDonald and go after McDonald.
And it'll be Rob Semeta going off again with another penalty. He's had a few tonight.
Indianapolis penalty.
Gives the Comets their third power play of the period. We're not even 10 minutes in.
2 minutes slicing. Time 7.
That's lucky that McDonald didn't get seriously injured there, because his head was down. He could have been really cut up bad.
Comets send their power play unit out once again. John Purvis, Colin Chin, Joel Savage, and Lee Davidson on the point.
Once again, he's mixing up the lines on the power play. He's got Savage out there with the first unit and Chin. He's got Purvis out there. That's something he didn't have earlier in the game.
Brian McKee behind his own goal sets up for the Comets to lead the rush. 4-1 K's over Indianapolis. 12 minutes to go in period 2. McKee fires it into the Indianapolis corner. Grossi given the heavy hit by the Comets. Purvis steps into his man behind the net. Indianapolis try to clear. Comets putting on some good forechecking pressure. Now Purvis taken off the play, but Chin controls.
Comets going to be in trouble. They got too many guys behind the blue line. You can't get in. You can't score from there. We've got 3 guys back there and only 2 guys out front. It's easy for the defense.
Lee Davidson tries to sweep it in front. Indianapolis take over. Let's see if they can clear it, and they do. Lee Davidson turns it back up ice for the K's. Davidson carries, leaves the good pass for Chin. Now back ahead to Davidson in the corner. Behind the goal to John Purvis. Behind the Indianapolis net, it's Lee Davidson. Tries the center in front, poked away. Now to the point to McKee. His low shot. Oh, just tipped by LeBlanc.
Davidson just missed it. He had it.
And it's cleared to the Comet zone once again. 40 seconds left in the Comet power play. McKee having a little trouble getting organized. Dumps it behind his goal.
Luckily, Chin and Hurd came back to help out, so it wasn't, there was no problem.
Intercepted again by the ice. Here comes St. Jacques off the wing. Stepped into by Messier. Now Kelly Hurd looking to take control, and does.
Usually you don't see the forwards come back that far on defense, especially on a power play, because they're running to get up ice and get the shots on the other goal, but they've done a great job helping out.
LeBlanc comes out again to wrap it around the boards. Richardson at the point. Now Wickenheiser to Richardson. Quick wrist shot by Richardson, and it's tipped into the corner. Kelly Hurd Bumped off the play by Haxtell.
Both teams back at full strength.
Hurd comes up high on Haxtell. The Komets will have a penalty, and Kelly Hurd will go off to the elbow. 10:28 remains in period 2, 4-1 Komets. You're watching Comet Hockey on TV 33.
Say, I ordered pepperoni and onions on this pizza. I can't taste them. I can't even see them. They're just cut small.
Small.
Small?
Very small.
Very small?
So small they can't be seen by the naked eye.
That small?
That's small.
Looking for really big toppings? Now you can find them at Pizza Hut. Introducing the new Chunky Style Pizza. It's got big chunks of meat and vegetables for taste you can actually see.
Hey, I don't believe it. I see one.
Where?
Hey. Just kidding.
You haven't seen big toppings till you check out the new Chunky Style Pizza from Pizza Hut.
Here's your 33 outdoor forecast. I'm weather specialist Betsy Thompson.
Back at the Coliseum midway through period 2, it's 4-1 Komets over Indianapolis. The Ice on the power play, trying to get back into this hockey game that the Komets have dominated through the first 30 minutes.
Offsides, lucky call for the Komets. They had a 2-on-1 going, so he doesn't call it. With Ice score here, it's a new game, folks, because they'll have all the momentum then. And they got Ray LeBlanc in goal, who's been extremely hot.
The Komets have still dominated as far as shots are concerned, 27-8.
Yeah, LeBlanc made 21 straight saves.
Well, one of the things we talked about, it seems like the Komets have turned it down a notch. So they're going to have to regroup a little bit and say, okay, we still have plenty of hockey to play, so let's go.
Yeah, that emotional rush is gone now. Now they got to settle down.
Kevin McDonald clears the length of the rink for the Komets, and Indianapolis will regroup behind their own goal. Jeff Riccardi fires it in behind the Comet zone. O'Neill can't stop it along the boards. Boyce goes at it with Boyer. McDonald bumps his man off the play. Now here comes Ian Boyce, and he fires at the length of the rink.
And the last bang here was Andreski banging his stick in frustration against the boards.
Long pass. Now here comes Andreveski. Dumps it behind the Comet goal. This time O'Neill makes the stop. Leaves it for Dupuis. Now to Kerry Lucic.
See if the Komets defense lines up the ice at the blue line here, tries to stand him up and give O'Neill time to get to the puck if they dump the puck.
Less than a minute remains in the Ice power play. Sergei Krivokrasov.
There they go. O'Neill couldn't get to it this time. They got plenty of time.
And the Komets clear once again. Grant Richardson dumps it back into the Ice zone. Spear leaves it for Dykhouse. Now it's Spear.
The Ice are going to have to find somebody to carry the puck in the zone. They can't get it done just dumping it all the time.
Carl Dykhouse. Kerry Lucic comes way up from his defensive position to put the pressure on Dykhouse. Here come the Ice, though. Dumped into the corner where Lee Davidson takes over for the K's. He's got some room to work. Davidson slips by his man. Gets by the hook now at neutral ice. Here's Lee Davidson with the puck again. Ahead to Colin Chin. Chin dumps it in. There'll be a delayed offside. And Colin again given rough treatment along the boards. And he draws still another penalty on the Indianapolis Ice.
Yeah, here comes a chain of stupid, too, and that was. You got a power play. Why kick it away? The Ice are getting frustrated.
Well, and with that also is the youth of the situation, where these are some young kids. Although Spear is not one of those young kids.
Yeah, let's face it, he's never been the most balanced player, shall we say.
Spear played 38 games with the Ice last year, had a goal and an assist and 109 penalty minutes, so he's used to mixing it up and having some of the rough stuff. 8.5 minutes remain in period 2. 4-1 Komets over the Ice, and in just 2 seconds, the K's go back on the power play. Kelly Hurd comes out of the box, and now the Komets have a chance to see what they can do with the man advantage.
The Ice still only had 2 shots on goal this period.
Indianapolis touched the puck, and that'll be an offside pass. Dino Grossi thought that it was a legitimate play because the Komets had the man advantage, but he was offside in the play, so the puck comes back all the way into the zone to the right of goaltender Ray LeBlanc.
It's a really smart play by the Komets defenseman. It could have been icing or. Either way, they weren't going to lose, so they just let him work for it.
There's a good look at Doug Wickenheiser, former #1 draft pick in the National Hockey League by the Montreal Canadiens. That's pressure supreme in hockey. He's been a successful player almost everywhere he's been. Had a good year last year with the Peoria Rivermen, scoring 30 goals.
He got 75 points last year. I think he's going to get 100 this year. Because last year he didn't have any offensive players to play with. And this year, that's one of the main reasons he wanted to come here, is because there are players who are of similar skill level as he is. Last year he was playing with a bunch of kids who were mainly defensive style players.
And Kelly Hurd at the point, lets the shot go, right on. Siplikov with the rebound. LeBlanc spread eagles out to cover up. 2 good scoring opportunities for the K's, but Ray LeBlanc equal to the task. And Blake, you talk about Wickenheiser. I mean, that's been the line we've watched so far in training camp and at the outset of the season. Wickenheiser and Mitch Messier and Kelly Hurd. In this situation, we've got Hurd back on the point, and you have Siplikov out playing the wing.
Yeah, they've got a lot of offense right here, and a lot of guys that can really handle the puck, which is sometimes more important than having a booming shot on a power play. These guys can really work it and create openings for everybody else. Very versatile players. All the forwards can play different positions.
Messier on the draw with Byram. The Ice try to clear the zone and do. Zach Boyer kicks it ahead. Now it's Big Sean Byram. He's bumped off the play by Messier. Byram still controls and dumps it back, but no, the Komets come out with it. It's Wickenheiser. Leaves it off the boards for Siplikov. Now here's Doug Wickenheiser. It's off his skate. Right in front. The Komets putting the pressure on, and there will be another penalty coming up. There'll be a slashing call. Let's see who it's on. It looks like the Komets are going to have the chance to have a 2-man advantage once again, and this will be a long one. They will have 1 minute and 22 seconds of a 2-man power play.
This is Byram slashing. Oh, man. Another one of this, too, is, you know, a lot of these penalties later on the season will not be called. But because it's early, they like to start them off calling everything. We're only halfway through the second period. We've had about 20 penalties called. Usually that's enough for a whole game, but it's early in the season.
Well, and referee Joe Ernest is calling this game very closely so far.
He's calling it earnestly, maybe? This is the referee the Komets have never seen before either, so
well, he's definitely
not sure how he's going to call the game.
He's calling them as he sees them, and he's seeing a lot of them. So the Komets, again, have a chance to really do some damage here. A 2-man advantage for at least 1 minute and 22 seconds. Colin Chin out with Joel Savage. Kelly Hurd, again, seeing a lot of ice time on this power play on the point.
This is a type of power play where the Komets, the players either love it or hate it. They hate it because they've got a 2-man advantage for a long time. You should score a goal. There's no excuses. You should score a goal. So they got a lot of room to work with, but there's also some pressure.
John Purvis also out on the other wing for the Komets. Now Joel Savage, as they continue the musical chairs in the faceoff, takes the draw. It's back to McKee. Now Hurd looks for a shot. Long pass broken up by Boyer and cleared. An ill-advised move there by Kelly Hurd. And the Komets go back to regroup.
Still got plenty of time. Got about a minute left with 2-man advantage.
Now Hurd coming in off the left wing. Dumps it in the middle. Colin Chin tries to feed it ahead. Now Chin retains control of the puck. Colin Chin. Hurd goes cruising through the slot. Here's McKee. Top of the circle. Hurd wide open. Low shot again, and that's poked away by the ice defense, but the K's continue to control. Chin comes out of it from the corner. Tries to feed it up the middle. Swept out of the zone again by Zach Boyer.
Part of the problem when you have 2-man advantage is you try to do too much. Just play your normal power play. Get the shot on goal. Go for the rebound.
Now at center ice. Colin Chin to Hurd on the wing. Hurd goes along the boards, being slashed by St. Jacques. Hurd dumps it behind the goal where Joel Savage takes it. Now Savage to McKee. Back to Savage. Good pass across. Kelly Hurd tries to feed it in the slot. Chin just behind the side of the goal. Now Hurd goes heavily into the corner. Takes his man off the play. But Brian McKee chases back into his own zone to try and regroup for the Komets. 9 seconds left in the 2-man advantage. Komets with one more rush. McKee fires it in. Funny hop off the board. There's a quick shot. Just goes bouncing through the crease. One ice player is back on. Now the Komets just have a single-man advantage. 30 seconds left in that power play, and they have not put a shot on goal so far. Brian McKee again. Fires it deep into Indianapolis territory. Ian Boyce tries to keep it in. Along the boards, Boyer and Lee Davidson. Now it's Wickenheiser who's lost his helmet. They scrap along the boards. Boyce comes out with it. Now Wickenheiser. Slapped that by Boyer. Behind the net to Boyce. Boyce tries to feed it in front. Poked away by LeBlanc. Here's Grant Richardson. His quick shot right on and covered up by Ray LeBlanc. 5 minutes, 50 seconds left in period 2. The Komets lead at 4-1. You're watching Komet Hockey on TV 33.
A news update from TV 33, your 24-hour local news channel.
I'm Dick DeFay with a sports update. In football action today, Michigan State upset Michigan 17-7. Notre Dame pounded Pitt 44-0. Indiana topped Iowa 16-10. Minnesota took Purdue in a high-scoring affair 59-56. Atlanta beat Philadelphia 9-4 to take a 2-1 lead in that series. And the White Sox lead Toronto 5-4. They are now in the 7th inning. We'll have more news later.
Both teams are now back at even strength. The Komets in the ice. Centering pass to Ian Boyce coming down the slot. He's pulled down. They scrap for it in front of the ice goal, and Ray LeBlanc has done the job since he's come in for Indianapolis.
23 straight saves for the Razors.
In front again. There's the quick shot, and LeBlanc with the glove spears it. And now Wickenheiser coming in to make sure there's no more extracurriculars. Dykhouse and Messier having a conversation in front of the goal. Byram in there for the ice.
Komets are getting plenty of good shot opportunities. It's just, LeBlanc's hot. And when that happens, there's not a whole lot you can do. He's one of the best in the world when he's hot. Here comes a shot right in front of McDonald. Bang. And LeBlanc's right there.
Well, the Komets have a 4-1 shot advantage. They've outshot the ice so far 32-8.
Think that they're double digits?
The way it looks right now. Indianapolis' shots have been few and far between. And again, when the ice tried to regain some momentum and regroup a bit, and they got that quick goal, all of a sudden they kind of got back into their shell, and the Komets are now picking up some quality scoring chances again.
And this is what one of the things that Komets coach Bruce Bordeaux was worried about was would the Komets remain with their strong defense, because he knew he was going to score. He was just worried about his defense coming up, and holding them to 8 shots for this short a time was really good.
Siplikov stepped heavily into his man. Now all of a sudden,
there we go.
Well, the Ice were just taking exception to the big hit by Siplikov, and this will be an interesting call because he came in high with a big shoulder, and there'll be a penalty on the play. And all of a sudden, when the Ice were going to have a little conversation with Mr. Siplikov, Steve Fletcher skated in.
Well, if Fletcher, McDonald, and Dave Smith out there, I don't think Hulk Hogan and the rest of the guys want to tangle with those dudes.
Let's take a look at this. It looked like he just stepped into him with a big shoulder.
Here comes right behind. Oh, charging. I don't see that one because he's still in the motion of passing the puck.
Well, and Blake, you made a good point because you said this guy was calling almost everything, and I always thought the interpretation of charging was you had to take more than 3 strides before you hit a guy. They were pretty close to each other. There was close proximity. Vladimir Siplikov just came in with a heavy shoulder, and you can see that Siplikov had a good stint with Indianapolis at the end of last season, 13 points in 11 games, and one of the things I've been impressed with, this is a physical kid.
Yeah, he's great in that he's a lot like Igor Chibarev from last year, but he's different in the way he's just as fast and he's big, and he takes a hit and keeps going.
And he seems to like the hit.
Which is something Igor learned to do last year.
Now the Komets have to choke off an Indianapolis power play. 5 minutes remain in period 2. Still 4-1 Komets.
Another reason why they may have gotten that call is the Komets had already had 4 power plays in the period, and that's only an Indy second, and those almost always even up by the end of the game.
Dumped in behind the Komet goal. O'Neill fires it along the boards, kept in the play by Hugo Belanger. Now a quick centering pass. O'Neill pins it against the side of the goal, and there'll be a face-off.
Well, that's a great job by their defense. I mean, O'Neill had 5 seconds there to pin it against the goal, and there was nobody near him from the ice. That's just pure effort.
And make no mistake, what we've talked about, the strengths of this Komet Hockey Club, a lot of guys who can score, and, of course, goaltending in the capable hands of Mike O'Neill and Dave Gagnon. We can't overlook the fact that there were some concerns at this hockey club, and specifically on the defense. You have veterans like Richardson back there, and also Lusick, and a situation with Brian McKee coming on board. But there were a lot of guys that had to be replaced, and defense was a concern.
Right, they only dressed 5 defensemen tonight. Usually you dress 6, but they only dressed 5, and they went with the extra forwards. Steve Fletcher can play on defense if they absolutely need to, but I think they'd rather leave him at right wing.
Richardson pins Andrzejewski against the boards. Indianapolis keeps it into the point. Here's Sergei Krivokrasov. Skates through the slot, top of the circle. Now the pass into the corner to St. Jacques. Back to Krivokrasov. St. Jacques now setting up shop in the corner. Looking for a man in the slot. There's big Andrzejewski sitting there in the slot, just behind Grant Richardson. Komets playing the box, trying to deny Indianapolis any kind of a shot. Dykehouse's shot is deflected and up over the glass. That finds its way into upper arena.
This is easy for the Komets. They haven't had to move at all hardly on this power play. They can just stand there and right in their play position defense. They don't have to force it and go after the ice, and it's kind of like a rest period almost.
Indianapolis keeps the same power play unit on the ice with the exception of changing a defenseman, and the Komets send some fresh troops out. It will be Guy Dupuis along with Kevin McDonald as far as the defense is concerned, and the penalty killers, Kelly Hurd and Colin Chin.
See if the ice use their defensemen on the blue line to open up any shots. If you do that, it can open up some ice for you. And so far, they haven't used them much at all.
Four minutes and 12 seconds remain in period 2. 4-1 Komets over the Indianapolis ice. 57 seconds remain in the ice power play. Kelly Hurd and Kevin St. Jacques.
They're going to call it again.
Off the draw. Now here's Riccardi at the point. Over to Kriva-Krasov. Now back to Semeta. Kriva-Krasov dumped in front. Good play by McDonald to clear it into the corner. He's stepped into by St. Jacques, but Colin Chin dumps it to center ice. Riccardi. Now back on the play for Rob Semeta.
Got checked by his own man.
Semeta over the line, and Indianapolis looked like they were a hair offside, but no call. McDonald bumps heavily into St. Jacques, and Dupuis takes his man out of the play. Now back to the point to Semeta. Kriva-Krasov with a quick shot and misses everything. The Komets clear to center ice, dodging a bullet there. Sergei Kriva-Krasov had a good opportunity, but missed everything and fired it into the corner on the one-timer. 8 seconds left in the ice power play. They may have time for one more rush. Here's Rob Semeta, who scored a goal last night in the Ice's opening night loss to Peoria 3-2. Drops it back for Jeff Riccardi. Both teams now at even strength. The Komets have taken care of the power play. Joel Savage working on Kriva-Krasov, who hands Savage some lumber.
Again, the Ice only have 2 shots this entire period.
Now Riccardi chased out from behind his goal, but the Ice break out. Sean Byram. It's a 3-on-3. Lucic does a good job of stepping up and clearing again to center ice. Now Kerry Lucic leading the charge. Fires it into the ice corner. Savage with some good forechecking on Dykhouse. Now Byram, but the Komets keep it in. Here's Boyce. Tries to find Savage. Savage avoids the check. Goes right by Dykhouse. Takes the big hit from Dino Grossi and knocks Grossi down. Look at Joel Savage work. Feeds it to Boyce in the slot. That comes through and just poked away by LeBlanc. Joel Savage working tremendously in the zone. Wickenheiser spins. Little backhander right on in it. Kicked out by Ray LeBlanc, and the Ice have to clear it.
Notice how calm LeBlanc is. I mean, everybody's going crazy around him. He's just standing there, no problem.
It's icing on Indianapolis. Just over 2 minutes remain in period 2. 4-1 Komets. You're watching the K's on TV 33.
For outdoor improvement, the Fort Wayne Awning Company has got you covered. From our beautifully hand-stitched canvas to custom design awnings, Fort Wayne Awning is shaped to fit your needs, big or small. And we do much more than manufacture canvas. During those cold months, we'll remove your awnings to allow the warmth of the winter sun, inspect and repair them if needed, and we'll even store them for you in the security of our heated warehouse. Remember, the more attention you give to your home or business, the more attention you'll receive. You've got it made in the shade with Fort Wayne Awning, 7105 Ardmore. If it's canvas, we make it.
Back at the Coliseum, just over 2 minutes remain in period 2. Kent Horman and Blake Seaburn in the new Sentinel bringing you all the action. Off the drive from the point, it's deflected. Kevin McDonald shot. Kelly Hurd pulled down in front of the net. And here come Indianapolis. Big Sean Byram up through center ice. Now Boyer just dumps it into the Comet zone. O'Neill leaves it for Kevin McDonald. Along the boards now, Hurd avoids the hit by Byram. And they pin it along the boards. McKee tries to flip it out. And Kriva-Krasov will regroup for Indianapolis in the neutral zone. Sergei Kriva-Krasov. Across to Riccardi. Messier comes in to take him off the play. Now Byram being badgered by Kevin McDonald. The Comet defense picking up their men early, right at the center ice red line. Here comes Kriva-Krasov. Steps through a couple of Comets. Kriva-Krasov to Byram. He's pulled off the play. Taken heavily into the boards by Messier.
Good job by Wickenheiser and Messier to get back and help out the defense.
And the puck winds up under Byram, so there'll be a whistle and a face-off. And a little pushing and shoving going on once again. And usually when you have that, you usually find Kevin McDonald right in the middle of it.
He does enjoy that, doesn't he?
That was one of the things, too, Boudreau was concerned about was the Komets' toughness, and they learned early in the preseason they'd have no problem with that category. Of course, Steve Fletcher's still there. Kevin McDonald came back down after a successful camp in Ottawa, but there are some other guys. We take a look at Siplikov. He's a good physical player. Kelly Hurd has stepped up his physical play. And, of course, you take a look at guys like Colin Chin, Lee Davidson, Ian Boyce. They're not afraid to play the body. They get hit and they get knocked down a lot, but they'll come right back and hand it to you their own way.
Wait till the fans see Phil Crow in a game. He's not in the lineup tonight, but he's a human wrecking ball. He checked the goalie the other night. The goalie was slashing him from behind, and he turned around right cross. The goalie was flat on his backside. Never saw it coming.
1:14 remains here in period 2. 4-1 Komets over the ice, and again, this musical chairs of running people in and out of the faceoff circle continues. Right now, Purvis lined up to take the draw with Kevin St. Jacques of Indianapolis.
Chinner better be careful of getting unsportsmanlike here. The referee has warned him.
Richardson breaks free from the pack with the puck. It's a 2-on-1. Feeds the pass to Siplikov. Siplikov, quick shot right on, and the big pad by LeBlanc keeps it out of the goal. Richardson fires right on, blocker save by LeBlanc, and the Komets continue to pour shots on net. Ray LeBlanc has been the difference for Indianapolis so far here in period 2.
He's made 30 straight saves.
Now to Semeta off the wing, taken down by Kerry Lucic. Semeta on the seat of his pants, dumps it back into the Komet zone. Here is Siplikov. Up along the boards, Vladimir Siplikov. To Chin. Sandwiched by a couple of ice players. Fires it into the Indianapolis zone. Purvis takes his man into the boards.
Boy, Semeta's not afraid to throw the elbows around, is he?
Now Chin goes up high on his man. There's a drive from the point, right on again, and LeBlanc with the save. And Colin Chin having a conversation with Bobby House. And Grant Richardson says, if you'd like a piece of somebody, try me. Just 23 seconds remain here in period 2. 4-1 Komets. The K's dominating the shots in this game, 37-8.
16-2 in this period.
Lee Davidson out for the Komets, along with Joel Savage and Ian Boyce. Brian McKee and Guy Dupuis man the blue line. Zach Boyer on the draw, and Boyer run out of the circle. Now Belanger steps in off the draw, goes back behind the ice goal. LeBlanc leaves it. Big hit by Ian Boyce. Komets keep it in. Boyce bumped off the play, and Boyer plays it behind his own goal. Just 10 seconds left in the second period, and the Komets control at center ice. Davison just plays it off the boards. Indy tries for one last quick shot, but blocked by McKee, and that'll do it. The end of 2 periods of play here at the Coliseum. The Komets lead Indianapolis 4-1. You're watching Komet Hockey on TV 33.
Urban Brothers Furniture would quietly like to inform you. 1 year free financing. 1 year free financing. That's right, 1 year free financing. 5 days only this Thursday through Monday, Columbus Day. Pick the furniture you've always wanted with no down payment, no interest till October 1994. Save on almost any furniture need and pay later, much later. Get quality factory direct furniture from Urban Brothers with no interest, no down payment till October 1994. Hurry, it's this Thursday through Monday, Columbus Day only at Urban Brothers Furniture on Fern Hill, just south of Hudson's Glenbrook.
Central Electronics has been serving Fort Wayne for over 35 years, offering dependable Zenith products at low, low prices. Central Electronics has built a solid reputation for service after the sale, backing up every purchase with a professional trained service department. Before you buy your next TV, VCR, or camcorder, see Steve or Judy at Central Electronics. That's where you'll find your best buy on any quality Zenith product. Central Electronics, proudly serving you at 2312 Goshen Road.
Yes?
We need a new tire.
And you'll need a shock and a strut and a lube and a brake and a rust-proof job so your paint don't flake.
Not.
At the Tire Barn Warehouse, we'll sell you the tire you want and give you the fast, high-tech tire service you need. And we won't make you buy the farm. Because at the Tire Barn, tires are all we do.
Tire Barn, major brand quality, wholesale price.
A news update from TV 33, your 24-hour local news channel.
It's 10:05, 38 degrees. Good evening. I'm Ava Filson. The interviews for the U.S. Magistrate Judge for the Southern District of Indiana are done, but there's still no word on who the appointee will be. The announcement won't be made until a background check is done. And a Greencastle man won more than $1 million tonight on the Hoosier Millionaire Game Show. John Archer says he picked number 3, which revealed the jackpot because his mother suggested it.
Welcome back to the Coliseum. Kent Horman and Blake Sebring. It's 2 periods of Comet hockey in the books, and the K's lead the Indianapolis Ice by the score of 4-1. And so far, Blake, I'd say Bruce Boudreau has to be pretty happy with his troops, and I think Bruce has done a good job as far as the way he's worked his players in the lineup.
Yeah, the first thing he did is he took some veterans aside and said, hey, I want you guys to teach these guys what it means to be a Comet. And the veterans have been the hardest working players in camp, even though they already had contracts, and it made it very, very difficult for any of the youngsters to get into the lineup.
Well, it's a situation where Boudreau, he's tried to avoid it. He said there hasn't been that much pressure on him, but especially when you have a packed house here at the Coliseum, there's pressure. You want to have a good competitive hockey club, and that opening ceremony where you saw 13 guys get Turner Cup rings, I mean, that can't be overlooked, especially with that big trophy sitting at center ice. So Bruce really wants to do well and make sure that there is a quality hockey club on the ice.
I'm sure Bruce didn't sleep at all last night, because I know he was having a hard time sleeping some nights trying to make the cuts on the players, because he didn't know what to do, because there really was not that much difference between the guys who made the team and some of the guys who did not make the team.
Well, it's a situation where a lot of the fans know Bruce Boudreau. He's been an IHL veteran. He played with the Komets a few years back, and now he's trying to get his feet wet as far as coaching is concerned. Maybe he wasn't the guy a lot of people thought would get this job, but he is now the new coach of the Fort Wayne Komets and running a brand new hockey club. Let's take a closer look at the Komets coach, Bruce Boudreau. It was just 2 years ago that Bruce Boudreau was playing for the Komets. He helped lead the 1990-91 team to the Turner Cup Finals against Peoria, centering the IHL's most potent line, which included Lonnie Loach and John Anderson. But after a career that spanned 2 decades, Boudreau turned to coaching, spending last season with Muskegon of the Colonial League. He always kept in close touch with the K's, and when Al Sims left to take an assistant's job with the NHL's expansion Anaheim team, Gabby applied for the Komets job. Considered a long shot behind Claude Noel and Robbie Laird, Boudreau won the Frankies over and became the new coach of the Komets. In just a short time, he's also won over his new players and hasn't found the transition from player to coach to be all that difficult.
Everybody forgets I was an assistant coach for 8 of my last 8 years that I played, and I was really gearing to the day that I wanted to become a coach. Other than nerves and learning behind the bench, things like that, the only time I ever got the urge to play is when I came down here. I'd walk through the stands and say, hi Gabby, hi Bruce, and this, and I go, man, I want to play for these fans again. And then I'd go in there and Chinner would give me a hug, and I'd go, this was camaraderie, and then the memories would start coming back and peeling back, and I go, this is great. Then I wanted to play. Then I go back to Muskegon. I'd have no desire to play. I wanted to form the team that would win. Once I hung them up, I guess I hung them up.
Boudreau has found more demands on his time since he's become a coach. They're scheduling and running practices, dealing with players' agents and NHL affiliates, and game day preparation. But after all, when your nickname is Gabby, it's not such a hard job.
I think communication, it would probably be my forte, and motivation. Those are the things that, and I think I'm okay at those jobs because I've been there, and I've just recently been where these guys are right now. These guys are easy to read, and I mean, I played in the minors 17 years, and so it's as far as touching the right buttons, I think so far, I mean, we've done really well, and Derek has helped immensely in that part, where we can go out there and getting work ethic. The work ethic from these guys has been really incredible, and now it's time to transform it onto the rink when it counts, and we'll see tonight as we, whether it's paid off or whether we're so emotionally up for the game that we're useless or what. I mean, so we'll find out.
Bruce doesn't feel any pressure coming in as the new Komets coach after their 12-game sweep to the Turner Cup. He promises a highly competitive team built in the Komets tradition and looks forward to another run at the Cup.
I've never felt the pressure in the three home exhibition games. I got out there and it seemed pretty natural. I mean, maybe I'll feel the pressure if we start losing when it counts. But right now the collar's pretty loose, and we think we've done the right moves to get a pretty good hockey club in here. But only time again will tell. But hopefully we can get off to a real good start, and people are going to be very happy with what they see on the ice and what they think is going on behind the bench.
Boudreau has passed every test so far. He's run a well-organized training camp, and his team has been prepared for each of the 4 exhibition games. Bruce loves the city and plans on calling Fort Wayne home permanently. His biggest wish is to bring Komet fans another team they'll be proud of. And don't ever be bashful about asking him a question. Gabby's never met a conversation he didn't like.
After the game, shoot over to Shooters and let the good times roll. Shooters is Fort Wayne's friendliest sports bar, where the big games are on the big screen via satellite. Shake it up on Shooters' dance floor and enjoy the friendly hospitality that makes Shooters the place to be. On Fridays, dive into the seafood buffet, featuring free peel and eat shrimp and crab legs. Thursday is Buck Night, with long necks and more for just $1. See you soon at Shooters, just behind Glenbrook on Fern Hill.
See this? Hottest thing on the road. The all-new Chevy S10. Its design is sleeker, yet it's roomier. It has more power and rides smoother. In fact, S10 is redesigned for '94. Take it for a test ride. You might win a 31-inch color TV. Get the details at your Northeast Indiana Chevy dealers. Don't dawdle. The S10s will go fast. And so will the TV.
Beer and everything you need to make it. It's fresh, it's inexpensive, and it's easy. You make it right in your own home. The largest selection of all the home brewing supplies you need at the lowest prices. The complete home beer making kit at Great Fermentations really is complete. Just add ingredients and start making beer at home for only $39.95. On sale now only at Great Fermentations.
For outdoor improvement, the Fort Wayne Awning Company has got you covered. From our beautifully hand-stitched canvas to custom design awnings, Fort Wayne Awning is shaped to fit your needs, big or small. And we do much more than manufacture canvas. During those cold months, we'll remove your awnings to allow the warmth of the winter sun, inspect and repair them if needed, and we'll even store them for you in the security of our heated warehouse. Remember, the more attention you give to your home or business, the more attention you'll receive. You've got it made in the shade with Fort Wayne Awning, 7105 Ardmore. If it's canvas, we make it.
Back at the Coliseum between periods 2 and 3, the Komets lead the ice 4-1, and I'm pleased to be joined by the voice of the Fort Wayne Komets, Bob Chase of WoWo Radio. And Bob, you're proudly displaying your Turner Cup championship ring. You've seen all 4 of these. Does it ever get any better than it was last spring?
I don't think anything could be better than last spring, Ken. Of all the thrills I've had in hockey in this town, that was by far the greatest, with all due credit to all the people who helped make the other history.
Well, and you've seen some great ones, the Eddie Longs, the Lenny Thornsons, Lionel Repkas. I mean, there's been some outstanding hockey and some outstanding teams. There was just something special about that team last spring, the heart and the character and the way they all came together at the same time.
I'm beginning to feel that that's happening again. John Purvis was saying, and I talked with him before the game tonight, he said, you know, I've never played with a team that bonded so fast. I've been here a couple of weeks. He says, and already everybody's a big family. He says, I love this. And he didn't know what to expect tonight. He's going to be mind-boggled when he sees this crowd.
How do you feel about this year's hockey club? You talk about this team has shown good chemistry early on. I mean, duplicating last year will be almost impossible, but they're going to make a pretty good run at doing another good job of playing in May.
Well, with all due respect to Indianapolis, they're undermanned, and of course they got a lot of kids here tonight, which doesn't necessarily enhance what we're doing. But what I like to see is the fact that we're moving the puck so well, we're skating so well. Regardless of the opponents, we are showing a tremendous amount of style. And I think the people who've come in to replace those who are departed are doing as well as anybody who left here. I mean, Purvis is going to be a great player. Mike O'Neill's going to be a fine goaltender. And what's wrong with Brian McKee on defense? Nothing. I think we're going to have a great team. game.
Thanks for coming by. I know you have to get back to the radio side. Always good to see you.
Always good to see you.
Bob Chase, the radio voice from WOWO of the Fort Wayne Komets. And we have a special guest right now, one of the greatest players ever to wear a Komet uniform, number 11, Lenny Thornton. And Lenny, this has to bring back some good memories for you, taking a look at what was happening with the Turner Cup presentation and things like that, and the rings and all those ceremonies.
Oh, that was really neat. I remember when we did it, but this is great. And the fans, you know, just all stood up and just hollering and hollering. That's super.
It's been kind of a well-kept secret, but I want to talk to you about this because I know it's an honor. You're really pleased making the Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame, which is a rare treat. Most of the guys were NHL players, and to come from Winnipeg and to be in that elite group must be a thrill for you.
Oh, it's beyond my fondest dreams. I mean, I never even dreamt it would happen. You know, it's all the guys that are there are all National Leaguers, and to be honest with you, there's only about 100 of them. So to be a minor leaguer to do that is just great.
Well, and it's a situation, too, where there are some outstanding players who made that hall, and again, your name will be added to that list, so it goes to show that what you accomplished during your great career here in Fort Wayne did not go unnoticed.
No, and I tell you what, it might be the best or highest honor I've ever received, and it sure brings back old memories, and they're great ones.
Lenny, thanks for coming by, and it's always good to see you. One of the few Komets to have his numbers retired, and congratulations on your induction in the Hall of Fame later this month.
Thank you very much, Ken.
Komet centerman Lenny Thornton, the IHL's all-time career scoring leader. We're just about set to begin period number 3 here at the Coliseum. We'll be back with second period highlights. Stay with us.
Say, I ordered pepperoni and onions on this pizza. I can't taste them. I can't even see them.
They're just cut small.
Small?
Very small.
Very small?
So small they can't be seen by the naked eye.
That small?
That's small.
Looking for really big toppings? Now you can find them at Pizza Hut. Introducing the new Chunky Style Pizza. It's got big chunks of meat and vegetables for taste you can actually see.
Hey, I don't believe it. I see one.
Where?
Hey. Just kidding.
You haven't seen big toppings till you check out the new Chunky Style Pizza from Pizza Hut.
Building together, building it right, building our economy, building for life.
Over 1,000 homes are being built this year by members of the Home Builders Association of Fort Wayne, creating thousands of jobs and millions in revenue for our economy. So when you choose a builder, make it a member of the Home Builders Association of Fort Wayne and enjoy it for life.
Building jobs and building dreams.
Sometimes there's a more efficient way to use your energy.
The same holds true in heating your home, and efficiency means savings.
A high-efficiency electric heat pump is the most energy-efficient heating and cooling system available. It actually works as an air conditioner in the summer.
The electric heat pump gives your home a warm, steady flow of heat.
It's a comfortable way to save money, energy, and resources.
Now that's smart.
For more energy-saving tips, call Indiana Michigan Power.
If your car has a minor ding or is a major disaster, get it to Al Gratz. Al Gratz Body and Paint. For over 50 years, they've been making the wrong things right again, turning dents and disasters into automotive delights. Imports, domestics, cars, trucks, or vans. They're the ones who care enough to make it right for you. Al Gratz Body and Paint Shop on New Haven Avenue, east off US 30, or on Coldwater Road across from Glenbrook. Get to the pros. Al Gratz Body and Paint Shop.
Kent Horman and Blake Sebring back at the Fort Wayne Memorial Coliseum. And Blake, the story of the second period, the goaltending of Ray LeBlanc.
Yeah, Ray came in and they had given up 4 goals in their first 6 shots. Now he stopped 30 shots in a row. And he's gotten the ice back in the game. You must think he's playing the Russians. He's just like he was in the Olympics, Kent.
Well, he still has that famous mask that he wore when he helped the U.S. team try and pull off another miracle when they were in Albertville. And we're just about set to start period number 3. What are you looking for the first couple of minutes here when they drop the puck to start the final 20 minutes?
I look for the Komets to go hard and try to get the first goal right here and put it away. If they can do that, the game will be over, because I don't think the Ice can come back from 4 goals. If the Ice gets the second goal real quick, then they got another hockey game going, and they'll come down to power plays.
Well, and much to Indianapolis's credit, they've done a good job of hanging in. Again, we've talked all night about them being overmanned. They have to be a little fatigued after a long trip from Peoria, kind of inexperienced. There's some kids on the team, and they've done a pretty good job really of holding together when this could have become a rout a long time ago.
Right. Another thing that's interesting for the Komets is Mike O'Neill's, these are tough type of games. These are the type of games that goalies hate because they always want to be involved. And he's only given up 1 goal in the 8 shots. And that's the type of game that he really wants to be more active to get into a flow of the game. And he hasn't been able to do that, but it hasn't hurt him either.
Now here come the Komets early on. Siplikov comes in. His shot deflected by Haxtell right on. LeBlanc steers it away. And we're just underway here, the first 30 seconds of period number 3. The Komets lead the Ice 4-1.
Got the Komets caught offsides on that play.
And both teams will make a quick line change. The Komets sending out the Wickenheiser line, which includes Mitch Messier.
Komets have so far been 0 for 5 on the power play, and the Ice are 0 for 4.
And Kelly Hurd will now come out. He was having his helmet worked on just a little bit. Hurd has 2 goals in the game. He's looking for the hat trick. Again, if you're just joining us, the Komets have a 4-1 lead. John Purvis scored the first Comet goal. Kelly Hurd has a pair, and Brian McKee, all of those coming in the first period. The lone goal of period number 2 scored by Indianapolis. Dino Grossi on a big slap shot. 19 minutes left in the hockey game. The Komets trying to build on a 3-goal lead over Indianapolis in their season opener. Right in front, shot right on and just steered away.
Once again, O'Neill looks calm in the post when he needs to be.
Hurd ridden off the play by a pair of ice. And now Messier tries to slip by his man, but controlled by Spear of Indianapolis. Messier follows and finishes his check. And now controls, tries to feed it back to center where Kelly Hurd circles right at the Comet fireball.
And the Komets change up lines.
Now it's Riccardi flipping the shot up over neutral ice for Indianapolis.
That was a great change for the Komets because the Ice didn't hustle back to get the puck, and they couldn't get anything going offensively. Then they had to make a change, so the Komets got control right now. It didn't cost them a thing.
So far at the outset of period 3, a lot of play in the neutral zone. Dumped back in, but the K's have to clear the zone to avoid the offside call. Carl Dykhouse sets up behind his own net and then starts the rush. Fires it off the boards, now tipped ahead. Ian Boyce doing a good job of slipping the puck off the stick of the Ice player. Now it's Lee Davidson.
Ooh, we got a high stick. Richardson got hit across the face.
There'll be a penalty against Indianapolis. The Komets on the delayed whistle. And the penalty will be called a high sticking penalty against the Ice, and the Komets will go right back to work on the power play. Dino Grossi pleads his case, but it won't work. It'll be Dave Haxtell. Haxtell going in 2 minutes for the high stick, and the Komets will have the chance to go to work on the power play.
Okay, watch the top of Grant Richardson's head here. He's coming across the blue line down at the bottom of the screen. Now watch, the stick will go up. Bang, that hurts.
Now those scores.
Luckily, the official was looking right at it. A lot of times those don't get called because they're behind the play, and the referee doesn't see it because he's usually watching the puck.
Some other scores from around the IHL tonight. A final, Atlanta beats Kalamazoo 6-1. Cincinnati over Cleveland in a shootout. The final 6-5. That's the second straight victory by the Cyclones over Cleveland in a shootout.
Goalie Pokey Reddick, former Comet goalie Pokey Reddick.
Las Vegas leads Salt Lake 3-1 after 2, and Milwaukee, Kansas City 1-1 in the second period. Now the Komets in the power play. Davidson at the point. Works the puck. Now Purvis back to Davidson. Savage knocked down from behind. In the slot, Savage again. Now he puts his man down. Purvis tries to find Chin at the side of the net. Savage does a good job of pinching along the boards. Now Chin takes the hit. Savage ridden off the play.
Another penalty.
And Savage will be called on the play. It looks like he'll be called for the high stick. That's kind of a makeup call right there.
Yeah, but Joel was asking for one too. He was trying to create some things. He's not arguing too much.
That will negate the Comet power play and put both teams at even strength. Savage goes off 2 minutes for high sticking at 2:29.
You know, the officials, they never ever see the first one. They always see the second one. And they never miss the second one either.
Kriva Krossoff now out for the Ice along with Semeta. The Komets send out Siplikov and also Dave Smith. 4-on-4. 17.5 minutes remain in the third period. 4-1 Komets over the Indianapolis Ice. Kent Horman and Blake Seberg, the new Sentinel. Happy you could join us tonight for our live coverage of the Komets season opener. Dave Smith puts the pressure on his man, but Indianapolis dumps it into the Comet zone. This will be icing. McKee back for the touch, and they'll face it off down in the Indianapolis zone.
See if the Komets, if they get the puck in their own end here, try to break out Siplikov a little bit and let him get it. Try to set him up on a breakaway.
Most of this capacity crowd has stayed on hand here. The Komets have controlled the hockey game almost since the opening faceoff, but it's been a situation, even though the shots read 37-8, they haven't quite put it away. Lightning can strike in this game, and anybody
especially with these two teams.
Anybody can put a shot on goal, and all of a sudden it's behind you, and before you know it, you've got yourselves a game again.
Remember a couple years ago, the Komets were down 6-2. And they came back and beat Indianapolis 7-6.
That was the dreaded ice scraper game.
Yeah.
Right in front, and it sweeps through a couple of Comet players and goes into the corner. Got through McKee and Dave Smith. Smith with the heavy hit on Semeta. Dykhouse taking the pressure from Siplikov. Smith again playing the body.
This line's going to need to change pretty soon here.
Semeta bumped off the play by Smith. LeBlanc urging his teammates on to get a rush started.
Yeah, see, they got caught out there. The Komets forwards are tired from all the forecheck, and they can't get a change on.
Richardson can't clear. Semeta fires the shot over the shoulder of Mike O'Neill. It's cleared back to neutral ice, and Indianapolis gives chase. Mike Spear takes the return pass, and Spear cuts over center ice. He leads the rush. Dumps the shot into the Comet corner. Now Lusick. Good job by Kerry Lusick to hold the puck and evade his man, Wickenheiser. He takes the long shot. That goes into the corner. Messier follows. Dumps it back behind the Indianapolis goal. Wickenheiser and Dykhouse come together behind the net. Here comes Sergei Krivokrasov of the ice. Blazing down the wing. Krivokrasov cuts down the slot. Tries to work by Richardson. Turns.
Ice are on the power play.
Poked out though by Mitch Messier. He's working one-on-one now against Haxtell. Messier content just to set up and dump it back out of the zone. The Komets, 10 seconds of power play time they have to burn off for Indianapolis. Sergei Krivokrasov leading the rush again. Wraps it around the boards in the Komet zone. Savage comes off both teams at even strength. And here comes Savage just out of the box. Fires the cross ice pass for Boyce. He plays it off the boards. Ian Boyce into Joel Savage, a backhander right on, and LeBlanc again has to dive out and cover up.
Nice
15
pass.
minutes and 17 seconds remain in period 3. The Komets lead the ice 4-1. You're watching Komet Hockey on TV 33.
Service isn't something that we owe you, or it isn't just the repair of a vehicle problem. It's the way that we feel you should be treated as a person and as a friend and as a customer. It's important.
It's just a thing to do and just a way to do business.
Crumpack Simon Chevrolet Geo. Come talk to us.
Back at the Coliseum, just over 15 minutes to play in period 3. 4-1 Komets over Indianapolis, the season opener for the defending Turner Cup champions. Face-off will be in the Indianapolis zone to the left of ice goalie Ray LeBlanc, who came on in the first period in relief of Christian Soucy after the Komets blitzed him for 3 goals in just over 7 minutes of play. Lee Davidson on the draw with Sean Byram. Now Boyce pinched along the boards in the corner. Kept in. Dupuis tries to take the shot. Bounces off of Davidson. Boyce flicks it back into the corner. Haxtell and Savage come together, and Savage takes the high hit again from Haxtell.
Thought Savvy might have lost a tooth there for a second.
Boyce tries to step into his man along the boards. Now it's a cross-ice pass. Dykhouse plays it off the boards. Good block on the play by Savage, and again, Savage takes some lumber across the back of the neck. Here's big Andrzejewski. Pushed off the play offside.
Great job. They really stacked him up there at the blue line. The ice couldn't get through.
No, that was one of those shifts where Joel Savage will have to put in for combat pay. He's coming off the ice, rubbing all sorts of body parts, and he's letting the referee hear about it.
Here comes Joel. He's diving to block the shot. Now, if he could have got it back up, he might have had a chance for a breakaway, but the Indianapolis player was smart and grabbed him right away, so he couldn't get after it.
Riccardi takes over for Indianapolis. Stolen by Dave Smith. And he's taken heavily off the play by Spear. Now Smitty gets up. He bumps his man, Bobby House. Here are the Komets with a quick 2-on-1. Dave Smith shot. Tremendous save by LeBlanc. And House takes the big hit from Dave Smith. He was looking for Fletcher, but took the hit by Smith. A tremendous save by LeBlanc. There's an interference call. The stick came up high.
On Shemetta.
Shemetta will once again take a seat. House has something to say to Smith, but it'll be the ice who will take the penalty. And the Komets will go on the power play once again.
And that was a shot that the Komets got set up by Steve Fletcher because the defenseman ran out of his way. Now watch him in front, right in front. Twirls him. Pretty obvious right in front of the goal. 2 penalties coming up.
7, Mike Spear. 2 minutes holding. Indianapolis, 23, Rob Cimetta. 10-minute misconduct. Time, 6:05.
Well, there again is an illustration of the combination of the frustration and inexperience of some of these ice players. Clear penalty, absolutely clear penalty, and then they just do some extra yapping. And Blake, as you pointed out at the outset, referee Joe Ernst is calling everything.
Yeah, he's not going to take any lip from the players either. That's why he got the misconduct penalty.
So the Komets have another power play opportunity. Lee Davidson at the point, lets the shot fly. That's tipped away. LeBlanc out of his net behind the goal, wraps it around the boards, and here come Indianapolis. Davidson just about has the puck poked away. Lee Davidson doing a good job there.
That's a great job, considering he's not a defenseman.
Inexperienced position, and Davidson avoided the poke check by Sean Byram.
That could have been a disaster.
Now Chin weaves by his man.
Another high stick, no call.
Savage bumped in there by Hackstall. Chin, though, out to McKee at the point. McKee dumps back into the corner, played with the high stick.
High stick.
Playing the puck with the stick above the shoulder, so the faceoff will be in the Indianapolis zone. Official attendance tonight. It is a capacity crowd, folks. 103 people are standing here in the jungle. 8,103. A capacity crowd, standing room only at the Coliseum to see their Komets try and pick up where they left off last spring, and so far they're doing a good job. Just over 13 minutes remain in the game, and the Komets lead at 4-1.
You know, the Komets haven't scored since first period, and you may think they're playing poorly, but they're actually playing very well. The Ice still don't have a shot in this period. They've only got 2 shots in like the last 25 minutes. That's excellent defense.
One thing we'll point out to the fans at home, and I don't want to jinx the Komets or make this an omen of things to come, but there is another new rule in the IHL this year where if teams would finish tied at the end of regulation, they would go straight to the shootout. There is no 5-minute overtime this year. If it's a tie game at the end of regulation play, they go right to the shootout. But I don't think the Komets have any plans of seeing that tonight. Colin Chin just goes off the ice. He again took another high stick.
It's getting pretty nasty.
1 minute remains in the Komet power play. Kelly Hurd dumps it ahead for Joel Savage. Savage tries to slip by Dykhouse. Now played out behind the net. Kelly Hurd leaves it for Purvis. Savage trying to set up in front. There's Hurd into the corner. Return pass to Hurd. A shot. Great save by LeBlanc, and Kelly Hurd looking for the hat trick. Had it ticketed for the top corner, and LeBlanc struck out the big glove and made another tremendous save.
And LeBlanc was screened by 2 players in front. He just makes it look easy. Dykhouse did a great job standing up Wickenheiser on that play. Here goes Dykhouse, 21. The Savage in front, and Hackstall hanging on to Savage. Nice play. Set it up. You want to get the shots right in front if you can on the power play. You got more net to shoot at. And the screener is just everything you can do. It's perfect except for LeBlanc.
Wickenheiser, Purvis, and Savage are out for the Komets. Still 47 seconds remain in the power play. Kelly Hurd at the point. He has logged a lot of ice time tonight. Grant Richardson manning the other point for the Komets. Sean Byram to take the draw for Indianapolis against Wickenheiser. Kick back, there's Hurd right at the top of the slot. Back to Wickenheiser. Wickenheiser takes the shot now to Richardson. Hurd the one-timer. That goes over the top of everything. Little chin music for Joel Savage, and it whistled over the goal.
Komets will reset behind their own goal with Richardson.
25 seconds remain in the power play. Komets try and get organized. Now Richardson behind his goal. Avoids the check by Byram. Grossi comes up high. Now Grant Richardson. The pass to Purvis. He leaves it now. Wickenheiser finds Savage. That's off a nice defenseman. And he clears it the length of the rink. Again, the Komets getting some quality opportunities. That'll end the power play.
40-8 are the shots on goal right now. Imagine what this game would be like if it wasn't Ray LeBlanc.
Pass right in front. Smith gloves it with his hand, tries to drop it, but it goes beyond the goal. Siplikov again doing a good job with the forecheck. Dupuis with the low shot. That's kicked out by LeBlanc. Here's Dave Smith. Siplikov right in the slot. Oh, Messier rifles it through the crease. Cross-ice pass, that's too strong for Smith. The Komets putting on tremendous pressure.
These defensemen are tired for the ice. They've been out there a long time on this shift.
Now St. Jacques tries to take control for the ice.
Oh, nice bounce for them.
Goes off of Siplikov, but it's Kevin McDonald. Now to Smith. Smith just dumps the high backhander into the Indianapolis zone once again. LeBlanc trying to get some relief. Can't quite clear the zone. Joe Crowley comes up high.
They can't get the change on. This is a great opportunity for the Komets to make something happen. They ice the puck.
Indianapolis needed a line change desperately, so they just dump it the length of the rink. The Komets make the touch, and they'll be icing on the ice. 10:52 remaining in the match, and the Komets lead Indianapolis in their home opener by the score of 4-1.
The preferred audio video store of the Komets, Classic Stereo. IHL Final, Kansas City 3.
Watch, if the fans are interested, watch Steve Fletcher and see where the other players are on the ice in relation to him, and you'll understand a little bit more about his value to the Komets. The last time he was out, he created 2 scoring chances without even touching the puck because the other Indianapolis players got out of his way.
Fletcher's one of the guys who has always created a lot of space. There you see he's had 337 penalty minutes last year, but Steve Fletcher does just a little more than enforce. There's a matter of intimidation as far as creating some space for your mates, and he does help create a lot of goals for the Komets where he doesn't get credit for the assists as far as the tally sheet.
Right, and he'll tie up 2 guys at the same time also, so somebody will be open. See, he's got 2 guys behind the net right now.
Zach Boyer breaking out for Indianapolis. Behind the goal it goes, and there's Mike O'Neill leaving it for McDonald. He sends it along the boards. Boyce takes the hit. And Kevin McDonald. Long cross-ice pass to Steve Fletcher. Fletcher lets the booming slap shot go. That's wide. Ian Boyce kicks it ahead, takes the high hit from Spear. Now Chin goes in with Riccardi. Fletcher takes a couple of players with him deep in Indianapolis territory, but the ice break out. Now Spear just dumps it behind the Komet goal while the ice go for a line change. Here's Colin Chin, skips by 1 ice player. Now dumps it ahead. Chin hooked down, no call. Fletcher takes a couple of shots. Play getting just a bit ragged here now in the final 9.5 minutes. Savage gives his man a rough ride on the play. Belanger.
Both teams seem to be running out of gas in a hurry here. A lot more icings and dumping the puck.
Kriva, Krasov, and Smith getting together. There's Byram coming in from behind. Sean Byram trying to come in from behind, and here we go. It's going to be Byram and McDonald.
And technically, Byram should get a game misconduct for being the 3rd man in. We'll see what happens. He's hanging with McDonald on the ground now.
Well, Kevin McDonald showing his value to the Komets because Byram came right up from behind on Dave Smith, trying to get a piece of Smith when they were having some work with Kriva Krasov, and Kevin McDonald wasted no time taking care of Sean Byram.
Could see Lee Davidson and Dykhouse going here, but they're getting separated by referee.
Dave Smith has already been pushed into the penalty box.
Oh, Smith
and now Byram trying to get a piece of Dave Smith. He's trying to...
Sometimes you need a car when you least expect it. Who do you call? Ace Rent-A-Car has great cars and vans at super saver rates. You can rent a Chevrolet Cavalier or comparable size 4-door at the reduced rate of only $109 per week. Why pay more? When you need a car or van in a hurry for any reason, you don't need to fret and pay a lot. Just $109 per week. Save at Ace Rent-A-Car, 2 blocks north of Glenbrook on Speedway Drive.
Here's your 33 outdoor forecast. I'm weather specialist Betsy Thompson.
Back at the Coliseum where we've had a little bit of a brawl erupt. It all started with Dave Smith and Sergei Kriva Krasov having some words, and all of a sudden Sean Byram came in from behind. And before Byram could get anything going, Kevin McDonald jumped into the fray. We've got Smith and McDonald in the penalty box for the Komets. Byram into the ice.
Byram and Smith are still talking.
And I'm surprised Byram isn't out of the game, if not for the third man in, for some sort of misconduct for trying to initiate a fight in the penalty box.
Exactly. That's one of those rules again that they put in 2 years ago, and you never see it anymore. And to be fair, Byram's got to do his job. He's got to protect his players. That's what he's supposed to do.
Well, the thing that's amazing is one of the guys who got the whole thing started, Kriva Kratsov, is just standing around out there, and I don't think he's going to get a penalty. 9:23 remaining in the third period. 4-1 Komets. Tempers flaring here in the third period.
That could have been really ugly, except you've got some very experienced linesmen in Kevin Mowen and Mark Wilkins, who are among the more experienced linesmen in the league, because it was over near the Komets bench, and it could have quickly erupted into even more. It could have been another Cleveland situation like we had during the exhibition season.
Well, and here's an interesting development, because Byram was doing all sorts of yapping at Dave Smith, and you see Semeta looking over at the Komet players in the penalty box. Steve Fletcher just stood up along the Komet bench, took his gloves off, and said, "If anybody wants some action, try me." Yeah, I think Sean Byram's got the rest of the night off, but I would suspect he's pretty happy about it.
No, I think he'll be back some other time. I think he's going to remember this. He and Smitty, we haven't heard the last of that one. They'll get it together sometime here.
Well, Sean Byram will get the chance to be the first one to warm up the showers for the ice.
The Ice are playing without one of the better tough men in the league, is Kerry Toporowski, who's got an injured hand, and he'll be back ready to go next week. So that could be a little bit more balanced.
Kevin McDonald also getting the gate, and it looks like Dave Smith is also getting the rest of the night off. So referee Joe Ernst is emptying the penalty boxes, which probably is a pretty good call on his part, because you can't say the Komets have it salted away at 4-1 with 9:23 to go, but if things are looking good and tempers are starting to flare and they're more interested in rumbling than they are playing hockey, he's getting some of the main eventers out of there right now.
Yeah, and they deserved it. They were the extra men in.
16, Sean Byram. 2 minutes roughing. 5 minutes fighting. 10-minute misconduct.
Byram gets 2 for rough, 5 for fighting, and a game or 10-minute misconduct, which is a game misconduct for him because there's only 9 minutes to go.
2 minutes roughing, 10-minute misconduct. 19, Kevin McDonald.
2 and 10 for Dave Smith.
Game misconduct.
McDonald gets 5 for fighting in the game because he also was an extra participant in the altercation.
Or why did they give McDonald the game and not give Byron the game misconduct? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you give it to one, you got to give it to both, don't you? They're both extra.
Byram should have gotten the game misconduct instead of just 10. But there you see Kevin McDonald, of course, was one of the Komets enforcers with over 300 penalty minutes. Oh, we're just about set to get back to playing hockey again. Still 9:23 remains here in the match. The Komets lead the ice 4-1. They've outshot Indianapolis in this game, ladies and gentlemen, 42-8.
They got 30 penalties called in this game. Typical Indianapolis four-way game, huh? If you get a chance, fans, it's a lot of fun to go down to Indianapolis and watching the Komets play. There's always about 1,000 Komets fans that drive down, and it's a great time. The games are always very entertaining.
Kerry Lusick behind his own net. Passes across to Grant Richardson. Now Richardson feeds it ahead to Colin Chin. Chin tries to find the streaking Siplikov. A little too strong for him, but Siplikov takes it in the corner. Skates go out from underneath him. Vladimir Siplikov right back with the puck, though. Circles in the corner. This guy can dazzle. Now it's Purvis right in the slot to Chin. And Dykhouse behind his own goal.
Bobby House is one of the high Chicago Blackhawks draft picks that they're really excited about. I think he can help set up the rest of the team for a couple of years.
And Indianapolis has drawn another penalty. It'll be a holding penalty, and it was very obvious. Kerry Lusick just was pulled down right behind the Komet zone. And the K's will have the chance to go on still another power play.
I think it's Joe Crowley that gets him. Yeah, he just lassos him and writes him down. That's not real smart. Kevin St. John's got the penalty.
Updating that baseball game, it is now a final. Chicago 7, Toronto 4.
Comets got their 8th power play of the night coming up. Looking for their first power play goal.
Doug Wickenheiser out with Mitch Messier and Ian Boyce. Again, Lee Davidson will be on the point for this power play. Davidson and Kelly Hurd have seen a lot of ice time for the Komets in the power play. Shot right on, kicked out by Mike O'Neill.
They've also been two of the primary penalty killers, too.
Now Brian McKee, long pass. A little too strong for Boyce, but he goes behind the net. Takes another heavy high hit. That one applied by Spear. Spear loses his stick. Now it's Messier. Out to the point to McKee.
The Komets will keep it on this side because Spear doesn't have a stick. He's got a broken stick. They'll try to take advantage of him.
McKee back to the point. Feeds it to Davidson. Now back to Wickenheiser.
Boyer gave Spear his stick because he's a defenseman. He's more important down there.
Except they shoot opposite hands, so that could be interesting. Now behind the net, Wickenheiser. Back to the point, Davidson. Oh, tipped by Boyce and right on. LeBlanc kicked it out, and Messier couldn't handle the rebound. The Komets with another good chance. Ray LeBlanc,
I think it hit
another
Messier.
sturdy save.
I think it hit Messier right in the skate.
McKee fans on the pass, but carries it in. Now he sets up at the point to Messier at the far point. Down in the corner to Ian Boyce. Komets spread it out. Pass a little too strong for Davidson, but he comes out, avoids the hook. Out to the point to Messier. Fakes the shot, now just dumps it on goal. Goes a little wide.
You can tell it's 4-1 because normally Ian Boyce would not be on the power play, and Mitch Messier would not be on the point for the power play.
And the ice clear the zone, and they go for a line change. 30 seconds remain in the Komet power play. 7 minutes in the game. Here come the K's. Colin Chin leading the charge. Leaves it for Purvis. Now Purvis back to the point to Kelly Hurd. Hurd to Chin at the side of the net. Nobody home, and it just skips across Joel Savage's stick. And the ice clear it once again. Kelly Hurd behind his own net. He has 2 goals tonight, both of them coming in the first period. One a short-handed effort.
Both teams are at equal strength.
Now John Purvis right in front. Oh, the shot right on. Tipped by Hurd, and he has another great chance for the hat trick, but can't quite get it. LeBlanc with the save. 6.5 minutes remains in the game. The Komets lead the ice 4-1. You're watching Komet Hockey on TV 33.
This one ends tomorrow.
A news update from TV 33, your 24-hour local news channel.
I'm Ava Filson in the 33 newsroom. Authorities say more than 24 people were injured and up to 3 people are missing after an explosion on a 600-foot tanker anchored in the Houston Ship Canal. The explosion set off a raging fire. President Clinton is expressing hope a U.S. envoy will get peace talks in Somalia back in gear. At 10, we'll have more Komet highlights and show you what the city of Fort Wayne is doing to make your water safe. Stay with us.
Back at the Coliseum, third period action. The Komets lead Indianapolis 4-1. Steve Fletcher gives the heavy hit to his man. Siplikov right in front. Another quick shot just goes by LeBlanc. Hurd tries to stuff it in, but it's knocked away by the ice defenseman. Spear tries to clear along the boards.
Expect to see Fletcher and get a lot more ice time in the last 6 minutes of the game.
Big hit by Grant Richardson. Knocks Andrzejewski on the seat of his pants. And here comes Fletcher. Good cross-ice pass to Kelly Hurd. Hurd tries to slip by his man. He's got Dykhouse working. And LeBlanc comes out to butterfly and cover up.
McCarty got hurt there, it looks like. He got his hand pinched when he went down. I think it was he and Hurd when they went down.
Well, he's writhing in pain on the ice. You're right, it looks like a hand or a wrist.
I think he got his hand pinched by his stick when he went down.
And the last thing that the ice can afford right now is still another injury.
To another defenseman.
Get your tickets this week.
Okay, this is Grant Richardson taking his man out. You want to pin him against the board so he can't... Yeah, great takeout. He couldn't do anything with the puck.
Saturday, we'll receive a free Komet Hockey magnetic schedule for this season, courtesy of
Komets will be right back here at the Coliseum 1 week from tonight. They hit the road for their first road trip of the season next Friday. They're in Peoria, but they're back at the Coliseum next Saturday against the Cincinnati Cyclones, and a lot of fans will be anxious to see if Pokey Reddick is in goal for Cincinnati.
He played their first 2 games, and he won them both, so we'll see what happens.
Now the ice break in. Dupuis does a good job. Puck comes right in front of the crease, and O'Neill covers up. The shot clock just keeps bulging for the Fort Wayne Komets. 45-9 in favor of the K's.
One more shot, and LeBlanc will stop 40 straight shots. One of the things the Komets like to do against LeBlanc, and maybe you've noticed, is he always flops. They try to shoot over him, so they try to hit him high. And most of the shots tonight that he stopped is hitting him in the chest.
Off the draw, Hackstall takes the big hit by Ian Boyce.
Oh, great play by Savage. He faked out St. Jacques.
And he avoids the check on the play, but Indianapolis comes back, breaking into the Komet zone. Poked away by the K's. Boyce circles and starts the rush. His pass too strong for Savage. And this will be an icing. The touch is made.
Balance icing.
And the face-off goes back down into the Komet zone. Just over 5 minutes remain in the hockey game. It's been a good opening night for the K's. The Turner Cup was at center ice. The refurbished Turner Cup, the fans had the chance to get a look at that. The 13 members of the Komets who are on this year's team who helped the K's win that cup last spring received their Turner Cup championship rings. We got to see a good look at it. And Bob Chase showed off his ring when we had him on as our guest between periods 2 and 3.
I'm extremely jealous. I want one.
Well, all these guys, the Frankies and Bob Chase, have been complaining about how heavy they are, and I said, yeah, Crimea River. I think I would learn to figure out a way to strengthen my fingers if I had a piece of jewelry like that.
I tell you what, I'd be afraid to wear it. I think I'd stick it in the safety deposit box and leave it there.
Quick shot by Kerry Lusick dashing in. Was a high shot, but LeBlanc put up the big mitt and swatted it down. And another face-off in the Indianapolis zone.
See, here they're going once again. The Komets are trying to get it over LeBlanc. Watch the positioning of LeBlanc's legs. Yeah, he's going down. They try to go high on him all the time.
8103. Thanks again from the Frankie family and everybody connected with the Komets for
the fourth straight season that the Komets have had a sellout on opening night. Standing room only of 8,103. Wickenheiser on the draw with Boyer. 5 minutes remain in the third period. 4-1 K's over Indianapolis. Grant Richardson, the quick shot, goes in front off a Messier skate, and Indianapolis turn it back to center ice. Messier pulls his man down on the play, and there'll be a penalty. Mitch Messier will take a 2-minute penalty for taking his man off the play. Indianapolis will go on the power play. 4 minutes, 51 seconds remain in the third period. It's 4-1 Komets. You're watching Komet Hockey on TV 33.
Everybody should do this. It's so easy.
There
are thousands of machines.
Who thought of this? Could you use some extra help and more freedom in your life? That's why Mac does more.
I can make purchases, and I can also get money out of the machine.
It saves time. It saves for me writing checks.
This card will take me anywhere.
It never turns me down.
Indianapolis going to work on the power play here in the third period, trailing the Komets by 3, 4-1. Bobby House along the wing, but the Komets pinch it out of the zone, and Indianapolis has to reset at center ice. Dykhouse fires it in along the zone. Bad pass by Indianapolis. Ian Boyce tries to clear it, but it isn't strong enough. Dykhouse keeps it in, takes the big hit from Boyce, and Richardson clears it the length of the rink. Jeff Riccardi, one of the newcomers for the Indianapolis Ice, starts the rush. He fans on the attempted shot into the Komet zone, and it's just flipped back to center ice. Now it's Dykhouse. Dumping it into the Komet zone and gets by O'Neill behind the net. McKee working along the boards with his man. Now Chin. Kept in, though, by St. Jacques. Now St. Jacques right in the slot. Andrzejewski fires just wide. Now it's in front again. The big Soviet player can't quite get a stick on it. And it's flipped over the glass. and a souvenir for a fan. 3 minutes, 40 seconds remain in the third period. Still 50 seconds of power play time for the Ice. The Komets holding on to a 4-1 lead. All the scoring for the Komets coming in the first period. John Purvis, his first goal of the season, and as a Komet, that's just 14 seconds into the game. Then Kelly Hurd, a shorthanded goal. Hurd again about 2.5 minutes later for his second of the night. And Brian McKee. That gave the Komets a 4-0 lead. Dino Grossi scored in the second period for Indianapolis to make it 4-1, and that's where we stand with 3.5 minutes to go. There's a shot knocked down by McKee. The Komets still trying to clear. And Wickenheiser gets the job done. Now here come the Ice. Rob Sameta. Weaving over the blue line. Leaves it for Andrzejewski.
Purvis blocked that shot.
St. Jacques to the point. Both teams looking a little fatigued right now. The emotion is over. And it's been a long evening here at the Coliseum, what with the opening ceremonies. Now the Ice, the big drive by Spear. What a job by Purvis, again going down for the block, and swept away by Doug Wickenheiser. And there'll be another penalty called on the play.
Cross-checking.
Well, you have to give Joe Ernst credit. He's calling them the same way he did the first minute as he is the last minute.
And that's, he called it.
That's all that players and coaches want is consistency.
Okay, here's the check right in front of the goal. And that's almost always where 90% of the cross-checking penalties called. Bang. Richie got him. That's pretty easy to call, too.
Well, the Komets have been taking some serious hacks and hits in front of the Indianapolis goal, so I think that might have been a little payback as far as Richardson was concerned.
When they come like that with that much heat, you know it's a payback for something.
Komets can't clear. Sameta. Now McKee goes down to try and block it. There's a big drive. Oh, good blocker save. Off the shot by Riccardi, and Mike O'Neill, Johnny on the spot with the big glove.
The fans are giving Indianapolis a rousing cheer because that's their first shot in about 12, 13 minutes.
Well, and they did hit double figures, their 10th shot on goal in the game, and there's just over 2 minutes to play.
This is not going to help Mike O'Neill's save percentage.
Well, the first 7 minutes was one for the highlight reel, but they'll probably burn about the last 2 periods of this tape. Another shot right on O'Neill, goes down and makes the stick save.
Great job by McKee to cover up.
Lee Davidson just backhands at the length of the rink. Play a little bit ragged here the final 20 minutes.
It looks like the first game of the year, third period.
And the Komets again do a good job of clearing the zone. Chin putting pressure on. LeBlanc leaves it for Spear, who carries it behind his goal. Spear dumps it back for Zach Boyer. Indianapolis again content just to step over the red line and dump it into the Komet corner, try and chase it down. Now the K's try and clear, can't get it done. Now a good job of sweeping it out. And Indianapolis has to go back and reset again in their own end. Dave Hackstall. They again just dump it into the Komet zone. O'Neill leaves it behind the net. And it's in front now. It's cleared away, but to the point. It'll be Hackstall. Wickenheiser finishes his check. Dupuis behind. Sends it around the boards. Spear keeps it in. Behind the net, Krivokrasov. Sergei Krivokrasov. Dumps it back for Spear. Spear fans on the play. Kelly Hurd just gives it the little flip the length of the rink. That'll take care of the power play. The Komets back to even strength, and 50 seconds remain in the hockey game. Sameta carries in for the Ice. He's pursued by Messier. Now Messier ties him up. And here come the Komets. Grant Richardson leading the rush. Good cross-eyes pass to Wickenheiser, but gets in his feet. Now he feeds Fletcher. Fletcher busting in. Steve Fletcher cuts in, and another great save by Ray LeBlanc. And Fletcher and Riccardi having some words.
I think Fletcher's the one getting all the words. I don't think Riccardi got a word in edgewise.
Well, and the fans begin to head for the exits. They're content with what they've seen tonight. A good start by the Fort Wayne Komets. I'd say you can just about put this in the books as far as an opening night victory.
The Komets' first season opening opening night victory since 1979. Usually the Komets start on the road, though. They've only had 4 home openers that started the season.
Final half minute of play. The draw goes back. Hurd with the one-timer. Whistles it over the top of the net. Now it's tried to be kicked in front. Richardson, his low shot. That goes wide. Swept into the corner. Kelly Hurd still on the ice trying to get the hat trick. Fletcher steps into his man. Now we're down to the final 10 seconds of play.
That'll do
An
it.
impressive opening night performance by the Fort Wayne Komets. The final 5 seconds. And that'll do it. The hockey game is over, and a good night for the Fort Wayne Komets. They defeat the Indianapolis Ice in their season opener. The final score, 4-1 Komets. We'll be back to wrap things up. Stay with us.
Yes? We need a new tire. And you'll need a shock and a strut and a lube and a brake and a rust-proof job so your paint don't flake.
Wait! I know. Tire Barn.
At the Tire Barn warehouse, we'll sell you the tire you want and give you the fast, high-tech tire service you need. And we won't make you buy the farm. Because at the Tire Barn, tires are all we do.
Tire Barn. Major brand quality, wholesale price.
Back at the Coliseum, where 8,100 happy fans are heading home, the Fort Wayne Komets have won their season opener, defeating the Indianapolis Ice tonight 4-1. And Blake, I guess in a nutshell, you have to say, good reports on all fronts. The goaltending was solid, the defense played exceptionally well, and we've got some guys who can skate and put the puck on goal.
Well, we did what they thought they would do. They came out in the first 10 minutes. They tried to win the game then. They did win the game then. And then they just kind of coasted and worked on some different things. They had different people out on the power play and different players out on the penalty kill. This will be a lot more polished team in a month.
Well, it's a situation, too, where one night does not the season make, but when you consider how they started last year, this is a real good building block for Bruce Boudreau, and again, a lot of positives to take out of this. They'll look at the stats, see what they have to work on, but it looks like they've got a foundation here to do some positive things with this hockey club this year.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything that really looked bad tonight at all, so they got a lot of positive things to build on.
Blake, good to have you on board tonight. We'll be looking forward to reading your columns all during the hockey season, and an outstanding job of analyzing this Komet hockey game. Great to have you on board. That about wraps it up from here at the Coliseum. The Fort Wayne Komets have defeated the Indianapolis Ice by the final score of 4-1. Good start for the Komets in their season opener. We'd like to remind you that 33 News at 11 is next with Mark Thompson and Ava Filson. Thank you for joining us, everybody. For our producer, Mark Meyer, our director, Kurt Wallenstein, for Blake Sebring, I'm Kent Horman. Thanks for joining us. Again, the final 4-1 Komets. This has been a TV33 Sports exclusive.
Tonight's coverage of the Fort Wayne Komets versus the Indianapolis Ice has been an exclusive live presentation of 33 Sports, your area television sports leader for nearly 40 years.